assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can be a source of support.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
What can I do?
What can I do?
I can remind others that none of us are alone.
And that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Now out in front, Nikishin, he scores! Welcome to the National, his first NHL goal. Alexander Nikishin, and the Canes have a 3-1 lead. Jarvis looking for the hat trick right on. Rebound out front, they score! Sebastian Aho! Jarvis with the heavy lifting, and Sebastian Aho, his first of the year. It's 4-1 Carolina.
Oh! So many firsts last night. Feel like Madonna.
See what you did there.
Thank you. Could be a preview of what's coming up in the next show.
Madonna's going to be on here?
No.
Okay.
Hi, it's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. That's Victoria. I might be a little punchy today.
It's okay. That's the best way to have a Friday. Get silly.
Ooh, okay. Well, could have unlocked that. Yeah, for one of my responsibilities with the Hurricanes is I do a 2 minutes, which is a sponsored segment in the next show.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who are watching and listening in Raleigh, Tim Donnelly's show,
yes.
The Drive. And there may or may not be Madonna music coming up in that feature.
Nice.
So.
Makes sense.
Hey, look, I like Madge.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a late night last night, just like a late night on Tuesday, and an early wake up. And so anything could happen today.
Yeah.
Including, I don't think I'll snore.
Okay.
I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah.
But we're trying to be as caffeinated as possible and trying to get through it. Good things, obviously, last night. The Hurricanes are now 4-0. We're going to talk about it. Tripp Tracy is going to join us in about 15 minutes, so maybe even a little bit less.
Yeah, they are the only undefeated. I don't want to jinx it, but they're the only undefeated team in the league right now.
Literally, it's a fact.
It is a fact.
That has been said by
I know
1,000 people.
Very superstitious people would be like, don't say that now, we're going to lose. So
I have very few big picture goals in life that deal with me influencing others. Very few. I'm not saying I don't have any. I just say it's not very many. One of my goals is to rid the planet of superstition.
Right.
Anything I say or do does not impact the outcome of a game unless I am doing, like, throwing something on the field during a game or the ice. I would never do that. I would never disrupt proceedings. So me saying the Hurricanes are or you saying, because you said it, the Hurricanes are the last undefeated team in the NHL has no bearing on whether or not they beat the LA Kings tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
None.
It doesn't.
I just want, my goal is to rid people of that.
Well, as long as there's humans, that might be difficult because I understand human nature. But I mean,
it's 350 million of us here.
It's a lot. There's way too many.
And
they all live where I live. they all drive in when I drive in. They're everywhere.
You had traffic coming in?
God, every day. Any
Why?
day that ends in Y.
What? How does that happen?
There's too many
I
people.
drive from a similar.
I know, but you have a highway. That's my problem. Is that we could go down a rabbit hole, but they're putting way too many people up there, and not fixing the roads. So
yes.
until I get a helicopter, oh yeah. So, but that gives me plenty
We should
of
start a
time.
GoFundMe, and we can get a helicopter.
That.
Yeah,
we do that.
Victoria needs a helicopter.
That would be great.
And a pilot. You don't have a helicopter license,
I'll get one.
right? You get one.
I would totally get one.
Right.
I watched the Jetsons. I'm ready.
Oh man, we shouldn't be that far away from.
I know we're behind schedule.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what's going on here. We are going to talk to Tripp Tracy in a few minutes. So let's get started. So I'll just go through this real quick because I want you to hear something that I just found absolutely delicious last night. Carolina's now 4-0 on the season. I don't believe that they have played an A game yet. I think they were probably B+ against the Devils. Few mistakes that cost them. I think Freddie let in a soft goal. Maybe even 2 in that game. But I thought they were probably a B+ against the Devils. They were less than that against the Flyers. They were less than that, certainly for the first 30 minutes or so, against the Sharks before they got really good. But San Jose is probably one of the 3 or 4 worst teams in the league, although talented. And last night, I thought there was the best they did was defend. They were, I thought, very good defensively. The other part of their game was a mess, but they still managed to score 4 times. Seth Jarvis, who by his own estimation has been just okay, has 5 goals and scored twice last night. Sebastian Aho just scored his first. Alexander Nikishin scored a goal last night. Great pass from Aho, by the way. And we're going to talk about this whole thing with Tripp, so I want to move on to some other things. But before we do that, when Alexander Nikishin scores his first goal, we are going to get a post-game interview.
Mm-hmm.
And here is the best of the post-game interview. Hannah Yates asks a question using Andrei Svechnikov as an interpreter, and it doesn't even matter what the question is. Here is Alexander Nikishin's answer.
Thank you. I think everyday work, block shot, forecheck, and shoot on goal.
There you go.
He said forecheck for anyone.
Right. Everyday work, block shot,
Yeah.
forecheck,
The first time I heard that, I was like, whoa, what?
shoots on goal.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
Right? Done.
Bill Belichick is listening to that and saying, see, that's what I do, and I get a hard time for it.
Right. 100%. Sorry, I'm on the 100%.
I want to hear more of Alexander Nikishin. I'm going to make that my ringtone.
Yeah.
I don't even have a ringtone.
Now you will.
My phone doesn't. First of all, if people call me, I never answer it.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in the car, I never answer it.
Yeah.
If you've called me, unless I'm in the car, I ain't answering the phone.
Yeah.
Only time I talk on the phone is when I am in the car.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Done. It's just the most convenient for me. All right, let me move on to a couple of other things because we are going to talk to Tripp Tracy in just a couple minutes. All right. I guess we just got to talk about last night real quick. Joe Flacco did what?
I know.
So, Mike Tomlin, as it turned out, was justified.
He was.
Right? He was complaining. Like, this Andrew Berry, I guess, is the guy making the decisions in Cleveland. He must know more than I do, but I would never help out a team in my division, which is what Cleveland did. Mm-hmm. And by the way, later on, maybe we'll do it in the next segment. There's a Tony Rizzo, I think is his name, is
yes.
a talk show host in Cleveland, who went on a rant about how could you give away Joe Flacco. Like, I would love to have heard Tony 2 weeks ago when they traded Joe Flacco. Like, who's the worst starting quarterback in the NFL? I mean, flat out, statistically, the worst quarterback in the NFL. They were benching him for Dylan Gabriel. I mean, you got a 5th-round pick for somebody who's, shouldn't he be in the league? Flacco did ball out yesterday.
Completely.
Absolutely amazing.
It was insane. He was on the sidelines, hyping up the guys and everything.
What are you talking about? That is so funny. I don't know. To me, that's an indictment of the NFL.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
We have so few good quarterbacks that we're propping this guy up. If he was spiked through his whatever.
Hilarious.
And he's sitting back there slinging the ball around.
With his gray beard.
Against
it's fantastic.
Against the Steelers.
And Aaron Rodgers.
By the way, did you see Rodgers get tackled by his own guy?
Yeah.
Great video. He was not happy. It was after a touchdown catch. Freiermuth went the whole distance for a touchdown. Rodgers is running down the field, and his offensive lineman is excited. And he didn't try to tackle him, but he tried to hug him, and they went down, and Rodgers was pissed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
what
man.
comedy last night!
It was great.
What comedy! By the way, that was definitely an own goal by the Steelers. That's just no good. You can't. I understand it's on the road. This is why, by the way, for people, and I'm sure there were people in that Vegas survivor pool that had the Steelers because Bengals are bad. First of all, I told you that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win that game. The first 2 tenets of the home bag system.
Yep.
Home teams only. Out of division. Don't go with division games. They're just weird. Don't do them. 1 and 2. That's why I'm not doing the Chiefs and the Raiders.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Raiders by 30. But guess what? That division bothers me. I don't want to mess with it.
Can't always trust the Chiefs either.
If you grew up a football fan, you know, right?
Oh, big time.
You are a Panthers fan.
Yep.
Division games always worry you.
They're drunk.
Always. They are. They are. More than I am.
Yeah.
More than I am. All right, Tripp Tracy is going to join us just a couple of seconds. Before we get to Tripp, Curt Cignetti, the head coach at Indiana, is now the 3rd highest paid coach in college football. I want everybody to just process that for a second. The 3rd highest paid coach in college football. Curt Cignetti. Yeah, exactly. It goes Kirby Smart 1, Ryan Day 2 at Georgia and Ohio State, and then Curt Cignetti at Indiana. And I'm not making any large, sweeping statement about how that reflects on the greater college football universe. It is just amazing to me. And really, he's obviously a wonderful coach. He has paid his dues. He's been around. He was an NC State offensive assistant coach, quarterbacks coach at Coach Phillip Rivers. He was here under Chuck Amato. He was a successful coach at Elon, turned a program around there. 2 years, I think they made the NCAA tournament at FCS. Then he went to JMU, did great things there. Then he went to Indiana, brought half his team. They surprised the world, although this version of Indiana is, I think, better than last year's version of Indiana. Just wild. But, yes, almost $12 million a year to coach football at Indiana, one of the worst programs in the history of college football. But not now. All right, last night in Anaheim, the Hurricanes ran their record to 4-0 on the season. I like to say you can't go 82-0 without going 4-0. Tripp Tracy, Hurricanes game analyst, my friend. How good will they be when the top line starts playing well?
I mean, they will certainly find yet another level. But, there's been an adjustment for Ehlers, but there's no doubt that last night was Jarvis's best game of the young season. And not just, he was so candid in the first two games when he scored, AG, that there were holes in his game that we've come to rely upon. And I thought it was pretty darn complete last night. And other than the face-off circle where Aho struggled last night, he had a nice complete game too. So I feel like they're building, and the Hurricanes are being carried by some other really positive individual and dimensional stories.
Tripp Tracy is joining us here. So let's go to the blue line, which to me has driven everything, because I can't find anybody on the back end who is not playing well. And they've gone the last two without Jacob Slavin, and I would argue they've played 4 games without the real Jacob Slavin. He was clearly bothered by something during training camp, which is why he was in and out of practice, why he didn't play a preseason game. And I had said for all I remember, it might have been you, but I had said even as he was playing well in the first period of the game against the Devils, I thought he looked like he had a hard time changing direction skating. So something was bothering him, and then he played just 16 and a half minutes in the game against Philadelphia, left that game, did not come back. He hadn't played these on the road trip, and he won't. But when you've got Shane Gostisbehere playing the way he's playing, Sean Walker, Keandre Miller, Mike Riley steps in the lineup. I mean, this is the blue line has been incredible.
We obviously know that you cannot replace Jacob Slavin when he's Jacob Slavin individually, and it's got to be collectively. And you just hit on the collective effort. I mean, Walker's been terrific. Keandre Miller has had, for the most part, a seamless adjustment. By the way, a quick mention on Miller last night, and Nikishin, the man of the hour right now. The Hurricanes are like a pack of wolves right now, that they're standing up for each other. And that's a positive development from years past and all the other positive things going on. Gostisbehere is as good of a story as they've got, plain and simple, at both ends of the ring.
Yeah.
See, +9, he's got 7 points, and it's the best defensive hockey.
Yeah.
And then to see his he makes a brilliant play on Jarvis' 100th goal as a Hurricane to surprise the Anaheim player. He was the central part of that goal. But then to see the leader that he is for young Alexander Nikishin, his joy, the whole celebration was fantastic. But Gostisbehere in particular, he's been as good of a story as they've gotten. In the 2 games that Mike Riley has played, he's looked every bit like the veteran that you knew you were getting.
I talked to Shane before the Philadelphia game because it's hard to talk to Alexander Nikishin, although I loved the interview that Hannah Yates did with him yesterday. By the way, wish her happy birthday.
She's standing right next to me.
Wish her happy birthday.
Adam loves your interview, and he wishes you happy birthday.
So the one answer he gave in English, I'm going to make that my ringtone. Right? It was so good. Like, thank you, blocked shot, work hard, forecheck, shoots on goal. Perfect. We don't.
He says he's making his first answer his ringtone. Yeah,
it's just the greatest thing.
Same.
But I talked to Shane before the Philly game, and here's a veteran who has been given a responsibility to get this guy, up to speed and in many ways protect him. Look out, not physically, of course, because he does not need that kind of protection, but just to kind of make his transition to the NHL as easy as possible. But Shane's got all these other things going on, and he's playing his offside, but he could not have been more interested to talk about Nikishin. Like, I almost felt bad not asking him about his own game, but he was all right just talking about Alexander. And, like, the veteran leadership that he is showing, like, that's captain stuff.
You bet it is. And, I think it was after the win over his first NHL team, Philadelphia, last Saturday. On the off day, I reached out to Shane, and I said, he won a national championship at Union. I said, did you wear a letter, Shane? And he did. So you have guys that are ready to be leaders in the NHL, relish being leaders in the NHL, Shane Gostisbehere is a perfect example that he knows his game's in order, but he can also simultaneously help this young kid and with tremendous enthusiasm and care. Jalen Chatfield, you know, is a guy that was the captain of Windsor when they won the Memorial Cup. So, you know, you're getting tremendous leadership. But Gostisbehere, you know, I remember watching that Union team win a national championship. We were actually in Philadelphia at the time, and he was a captain on that team. And he's looking every bit like a leader so far this year.
Yeah, you know, it's one of the things that jumped out to me, and I'm not trying to compare this team to 2006, was how many players in that locker room could have worn not just the C. There's only one guy that was going to wear the C on that team, but how many guys could have worn A's in that locker room back in 2006? And there's a lot of that, I think, with this group. Jarvis plays that way. We all know that. The Stahl line all plays that way. That line, to me, they set the tone for the game with that very first shift, which is probably longer than Rod Brindamore would have wanted Stahl's line to be on the ice for that shift, but they owned the puck in the offensive zone. There was no reason to leave. It ended up drawing a penalty. Let me ask you about the power play. Jackson Blake, Tripp Tracy is joining us. Jackson Blake goes on to the first unit. Andrei Svechnikov flips to the second unit, which had been the better unit through 3 games. It didn't get off to a good start, but I thought that Blake's vision created the power play goal.
Okay, totally agree with you. And it was a focus of the second intermission for me was that vision that he brings. You know, on that Jarvis one-timer, I love how Jarvis drifted wide because it makes it a further distance to travel for Dostal, the Anaheim goaltender. I mean, it's a perfect shot. But I loved how that one-timer, he drifted outside the dots at the last second. But when I looked at the clip, actually when Hannah was interviewing Jackson, I could see that with that vision, he took a peek, 2 or 3 seconds before he was available for receiving the pass, and he knew Jarvis was there. That's the type of vision that he's got. And you also mentioned the Stahl line, AG. I thought that they had a really important shift after those 2 junk power plays in the first period, too, because the game could have gone south in a hurry. And, you know, they didn't allow it to deflate those 2 junk power plays. And you fast forward, the game-winning goals on the power play with that tweak of putting Jackson there. I know you've had that thought in your head for a while now, so you look pretty darn good on that one. And then your penalty kill was stellar. So you won the special teams department. And I give that Stahl crew just a lot of credit because after those 2 power plays in the first period that were no good, and you oftentimes see your team fall off, that's aside from the shift that opened the game, they had a couple quality ones there to not allow it to affect what they were doing.
Yeah, you know, it took me back to the game against the Devils where I thought Carolina was really good in the first period except for the power plays. I think they had 3 of them against the Devils, didn't do anything with them. And it kind of soured the entire first period. So it certainly can go the other way. It's good that they got a power play goal, and the penalty kill continues to be great. Freddie Anderson, I know Rod said after the game last night he thought it might have been Anderson's best game as a Hurricane. I don't know. There's a lot of games to choose from. But Freddie, I mean, really saved them. Cutter Gauthier could have had 4 goals last night. And then the save he makes on Kreider in the third period, really from his stomach, was just tremendous. I loved Freddie last night.
Yeah, just quickly on that Kreider save in the third period, the fact that he, for such a big guy, he got low when the puck was in the slot to try to locate where the puck was at. He was determined through traffic. That's usually a barometer for me to see if a goalie is truly dialed in, is how determined is he to locate pucks through traffic. But it ended up being a huge benefit because he was so low. He's already in a position to have explosive movement from his left to his right to make that save. And the save, I thought the biggest save of the game, that was the most stylish save. The biggest save of the game was the save he made right after Carlson made it 2-1.
On Vetrano.
2-2 in a blink. That is massive. That, you know, the building would have gotten going. That save changed the course of the hockey game for me. And I'd be remiss, partner, if I didn't, mention, Rod makes the ultimate decision, but Paul Schoenfelder, the trust to go with Bussy in San Jose, I strongly believe a lot of teams would not have done that. And built within that, aside from Brandon delivering against the Sharks, is it gave Freddie Anderson a pocket of rest in the event you have to roll him. Here is the gauntlet of the trip truly begins tomorrow in LA.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's almost like progressive with Stanley Cup contenders, although Vegas, Colorado, and Dallas are pretty close when it comes to best in the West. But I don't know how you feel about Anaheim. I think they're a playoff team, and I think they will be in the play. They're too good, and the veterans that they've got, I think, will play well. And I love Dostal in net. I think he's a tremendous goalie. All right, final thing for you, Tripp Tracy, and then we'll go. We'll let you help celebrate Hannah Yates' birthday with a hike. Do you have any level of concern that we are 4 games in, and Andrei Svechnikov and Nick Ehlers have 1 fewer point than Will Carrier?
I don't have a concern with Ehlers because I think that he's looked better and better, as the 4 games have progressed. I see situations with his playmaking ability in particular that guys are not prepared for the puck to come their way.
Right.
There was one partial change in the second period where Jackson Blake, other than, on the power play, doesn't play with him, but he was, not prepared for a cross-ice pass. So I don't have a concern with regards to Ehlers. I'd love to see him get on the board because, that's the expediting factor for any player with a new team. Svechnikov, I thought he took steps after that reassignment in San Jose. He had moments, positive and negative, last night. But what I like the most, AG, it's a small thing, but he's not on the board yet, and he still goes out with Hannah's post-game interview and serves as a translator. I think that's a really positive sign because that's a team-first mindset. I think he's taken some subtle steps here in the last couple of games, but, he's going to have to shoot more pucks, hold on to more pucks, and he's going to have to be a physical presence and learn the physicality medium that he needs to achieve in the regular season.
Tripp Tracy, Hurricanes game analyst, my friend. I will talk with you tomorrow before we get to the Canes and the Kings' third installment of the 6-game deep fried road trip. I appreciate your time, sir.
Adam, thank you. And Hannah, do you want to just give a shout out to the Radio Nation?
Shout out to the Radio Nation.
Don't hurt Tripp today.
She's battling my slowing metabolism. I usually just stay in the hotel. It's her birthday, so I got no excuses to go out and get a 6-mile hike to the Hollywood side. Hydrate, Tripp. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye.
Oh, man, too bad Frank isn't with them. Frank would love that.
Yeah, Frank would. He would be leading the way.
I know.
He would be leading the way. All right, when we come back, I want to talk about the football game last night, but also there is a big football game in New Jersey on Sunday, something that has not happened in 6 years. Could happen Sunday. Next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoots, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The Panthers can't deny who they are. First overall pick at quarterback, 2 first-round pick wide receivers. They're going to be high-flying. Except, now that this little winning streak they're on has taken place, they've won 3 of their last 4. How are they doing it? They're running the football, and they're stopping the run. The same thing it always was, the same thing it always will be.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
It's almost time for the weekend, so maybe that means you're ready for some rest and relaxation, or maybe that means it's time to take the bike out for an adventure. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and as we approach the weekend, it's normal to have that one thing that you are really looking forward to help get you through the week. And taking the motorcycle out when it's a beautiful day and the weather is great is a perfect way to unwind. But there may come a time when you're in an accident on your motorcycle, even when it's not your fault. And if that ever ever happens, make sure to call my friends at Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they get it. They understand what it's like to go through an accident. They're writers too, so they know the value of your bike, your gear, and the investment that you've made. The insurance company just wants to pay you the least amount possible. So case evaluations at Law Tigers are always free, and you're not going to pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This party's getting crazy. Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Ah! Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs.
Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
What's better than being at the game? Table service with terrific food and drink specials and every available Canes game broadcast. That's Hockey at the Dugout Tavern and Grill in Apex, an official member of the Canes Bar Network. Watch all available hockey games on our huge 16-foot video wall, plus over 30 more big screen 4K TVs inside and on our all-weather patio. Stick around for late night buy one get one half off appetizers from 9 to 11 at the Dugout, 1413 Kelly Road, Apex.
What will your legacy be? I'm Amanda Mangum from Aspire Money Management, and planning for your future is more than just finances. It's about ensuring your loved ones are taken care of. From estate planning to tax-efficient strategies, we help you create a plan that reflects your wishes and secures your family's future. Don't wait to start this important conversation. Visit aspiremoneymanagement.net for a free analysis. That's aspiremoneymanagement.net. Let's work together to build your legacy today.
I'm a wife and the mother of 2 kids. And when I get to work in the precinct house and put on my uniform, I can tell you, as a police officer, we're building partnerships. This should be happening everywhere, so the police should be reaching out to this community, and this community should reach out to the police. That's the way to make this a safer place.
Start the conversation and help stop crime. To learn the 5 things you can do, go to ncpc.org/prevent violent crime. A message from the National Crime Prevention Council and the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Adam Gold.
80-second mark, I scream in the booth. I screamed in the booth. Why the heck is he still on the ice?
Did you say it in Finnish?
I should have.
Yes.
No, he wouldn't. He curses in English.
He does.
All right, 2 seconds later, he scored.
Yes.
And I went, oh, that's why. That's why.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the 1s and 2s. We will do minute takes coming up. Top of the hour, our friend Will Palaszczuk will join us. We'll talk Panthers with him also. I believe, is it Saturday is the final regular season game for Charlotte FC, and there are stakes for it. They're going to need to win to maintain their track position, most likely, when it comes to the MLS playoffs. Right now, I think they're fifth. No, they're fourth. They're fourth, but they're tied with NYCFC, and the only reason that they are listed ahead of them is because they have scored more goals. Right now, goal differential is identical. But Charlotte FC closes with the top team in the entire league, Philadelphia Union. And it figures unless they win the match, which they could do, it's going to be difficult to maintain your spot. They could drop from 4th all the way to 7th if Saturday does not go well. So anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that with Will Palaszczuk. He is the voice of Charlotte FC, but we'll talk mostly Panthers because that's what we're going to do now. So, do you know, Victoria, the last time that the Panthers were over 500? Over 500 at least 7 weeks into the season.
I want to say, well, I know Cam, we were at 500 last time we had Cam, but over, gosh, that had to be in the teens.
No, actually, it was 2019.
Yes.
Okay. So it's post Cam 1.0.
Right. Before the redo comeback.
Right, exactly. So they were actually, after week 8 of 2019, they were 5-3. Let's not talk about the rest of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that Ron Rivera was fired, I think, with 4 games to go. Okay. But they were, after week 8, 5-3. That's the last time at this juncture of a season that they were over 500. They won in week 8 to go 5-3. Mm-hmm. So they were 4-3 after week 7, which, if the Panthers were to win against the Jets in New Jersey, that's exactly what they would be, 4-3. Jets are the last remaining winless team in the NFL. So how do you feel about me saying that out loud after you said the Hurricanes were the last unbeaten team? You were like, I
don't know if people are going to be. Yeah.
Right. So when I say the Jets are the last winless team in the NFL, does it make you feel worried?
No, I would be worried even if they had like one win.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah. The superstition doesn't.
Honestly,
it's selective superstition is what you practice.
It just makes me even more nervous that that would be very Pantherish. Like that Panthers be Pantherin in that point. Like
you know what having grown up a Jets fan, I kid you not. I'm trying to remember the team. I believe it was the New Orleans Saints that put the bags over their head. That New Orleans Saints team won 1 game that year.
Yeah.
Against?
Of course, the Panthers.
No. It was the Jets.
Oh, the Jets.
Yes, the Jets.
It could be one of two.
I believe it was at Shea Stadium as well. Gave the soon-to-be 1-15 Saints, who were putting bags over their heads, their only win.
I saw on Twitter, this was funny, they were doing that during the Cowboys games. Apparently one friend was a Cowboys fan, the other friend was a Panther fan, and they were just switching bags when they would make a play.
See?
They were just sharing it. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was good times.
No doubt about it. So, look, the Jets are bad, right? They are really not a good football team. And even though, as a kid, I loved Aaron Glenn as a player, and I loved him as a defensive coordinator with the Lions, and I thought it's not that my mind is not completely made up on Aaron Glenn at this point. I thought there was a chance that he would be a really good head coach for the Jets. And again, it's only been 6 games. But they look like they're not coached. The Jets do things that make you go, I'm not sure they practice.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what the whole plan is here, which is something that Garrett Wilson, their best wide receiver, said after the game in London against Denver. He was confused what they were doing at the end of the first half, which if I couldn't, because I think I picked up on it, they were just trying to keep the ball. They weren't trying to do anything that would actually threaten scoring points. That was not their goal, to score points.
No.
It was their goal to just not give the ball back, which that's pretty, for a team that's already 0-5, that's pretty cowardly. I mean, that's the only way to put it, is that's pretty cowardly. Anyway, Garrett Wilson is doubtful with a knee injury for this game. Is clearly, between he and Breece Hall, they're 2 best players. So they don't have that many great players offensively, and now one of them is compromised. He's probably not going to play. So I don't know if that matters at all because the Jets can't throw the ball. They can't protect the quarterback. So not sure it really matters. But I want to bring up, I love to quote Steve Logan, right?
Yes.
So, former ECU coach, for those of you not aware. Logan has a series of sayings. And one of my favorites is there is a responsibility of winning. Now, this is usually referring to teams that are at a different level from the Panthers. So I don't know that it directly applies to this situation because I don't believe the Panthers are a playoff caliber team. I don't believe they'll threaten the playoffs. It doesn't, but all you can do is win the games in front of you. But if they were to win a third straight game, and again, I'm not saying that they're, oh my gosh, it's a march to January football. It just gives them more confidence and validation that what they're doing is working. And when you get confidence, you naturally get better. So while I'll stop just short of saying they have a responsibility of winning as great teams do or good teams do, because, again, the Panthers haven't gotten there. But if they are on the ascent, this is a game they will win. If they truly are on the ascent, or work with me on this. Their last 2 wins are simply a product of who they played. Which we have to allow for that possibility. Miami's pretty bad.
It's fair.
Right? And it was in Charlotte. Dallas, defensively, pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was in Charlotte. So all I'm saying is Panthers on the road, struggle bus, all of that. This is a game where they are a very slight favorite, 1.5 points. The Jets are banged up. The Jets look like they're not coached. At times, so do the Panthers. So if they are truly on the ascent, if they have truly kind of figured things out, then this is a game they will win.
Yeah, it's a big test for them on the road.
Yeah. And it's harder to win games that you believe you're supposed to win.
Yeah.
I have always thought that. When you're good, and again, good is relative here. When you believe you should win the game, it becomes a little bit more difficult. So much easier to pull off the upset because you don't have the pressure of expectation.
Yeah.
Right now, the Panthers expect to go and win this game.
Look at the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
Even though the Patriots might be legit, but they also lost to the Falcons.
Look at the Buffalo Bills, is right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Bills are struggling. By the way, we've talked about this before. Every team will go through it. The Eagles are going through it.
Yeah.
Right? The Eagles have do you know that the Eagles have been outgained in every game this year?
Wow.
The team that won the Super Bowl has a great defense, has an offense that just leans all over people, has been outgained in every game.
Yeah.
They're 4-2. It's not like they're 1-5.
No. Yeah.
They have managed to figure out ways to win, which can last or it won't. But those types of things, when you are outgained, those say something. They've got things that they need to correct. I don't think it says anything about their defense other than they've probably been on the field too much. It says a lot more about their offense. Saquon Barkley not having the same year he's had before. By the way, this game in Minnesota, the Eagles are favored.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I think Minnesota's good.
Yeah.
Right? Minnesota's offense is always going to be based on McCarthy or Wentz at quarterback.
I was going to say, is he back? I think he's coming
It
back
should be.
for this game.
They were hopeful that McCarthy would play in London.
Yeah.
But they lost both of their games in London.
Well, it says he did fully practice.
Right, so
yesterday.
he should play.
Yeah.
But they were hopeful he would play it, and they ended up using Wentz anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they won. No, that's right. They won the second game because they beat the Browns. They beat the Browns late, so they won that game. But McCarthy theoretically should have their offense in a better place. We'll see. To me, this is still going to be determined by what the Eagles do offensively, but the Vikings have a really good defense.
Mm-hmm. And
We'll
they have
see.
Justin Jefferson.
And they do.
who is superhuman sometimes.
Yeah, they just have to get him the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's on, that's on McCarthy and however they scheme their offense. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got one-timers coming up on the other side of the top of the hour. We'll get back into the biggest game of the night, which is not a Major League Baseball game, even though we have a team facing elimination. The biggest game of the night is in California. We'll talk about that, and we'll have Minute Takes coming up.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. We have reached Friday, and that means the college football weekend is just about here. Heck, it starts tonight. North Carolina's at Cal. Does North Carolina still play college football? I'm sure they do. Anyway, here's what we got for you. Boosting with the boys. A college football profit boost. We do it every single week. Boost those winnings. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Download the app today. Check out the Boostin' with the Boys offer. Get in on the action. FanDuel. Fun. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
There's no time like fair time, y'all. The 2025 NC State Fair runs October 16th to 26th in Raleigh and is jam-packed with fun for the whole family. Come enjoy tasty eats, free entertainment, livestock competitions, giant pumpkins, nightly fireworks, and so much more. This year's NC State Fair is the event you can't miss. Bring your friends, bring your family, and make memories that you'll be talking about till next year. Get your tickets today at ncstatefair.org.
Whether it's helping you work, save, or steer clear from fraud, AARP North Carolina is making sure your money, health, and happiness live as long as you do. Each week, AARP Without Limits meets people and explores topics to help improve how we live and age in North Carolina. You can also learn more about getting the most out of life by listening to AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Is he married to a person or just himself? Because I feel like that's very Aaron Rodgers-y of him to have the twist in there.
It's a very good question.
Oh, I don't know. We still don't know if it's a person.
Would he get down on one knee to ask himself over an ayahuasca?
Yes.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Went to sleep at, 2:30 or something last night.
3 hours ago?
Got up, yeah, pretty much. Got up before 6. Did go back to sleep for like 40 minutes.
Okay.
So whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's what we're running on today. Mm-hmm. So bear with me. All right, let's, we got one-timers, right? Questions and answers?
Let's do it.
All right.
So, starting off, on our YouTube stream, we've got Jared, which also thank
Hi,
you,
Jared,
for this one. He said, hair looks great, Victoria. Thank you.
What about
so
mine?
Does yours. And he followed it up with, so does yours, Adam.
Yeah, it does.
So, his question portion is, will our Liverpool get the season back on track against Manchester United on Sunday?
Oh, man. We're gonna talk about that game in minute takes. It's been like Liverpool hadn't played well all year. They won their first 5 matches without playing well.
Mm-hmm.
They won their first Champions League match against Atletico without playing well. They have conceded goals late. I know they scored a bunch of goals late. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, Jared. I really am. I think that the last international break was good for him. Looks like Isak is ready to go. My guess is he gets the start at home against United. It is the number one game, the number one match in English football.
Yeah.
Liverpool and Manchester United, the two winningest clubs in English football history.
Yeah. Well, he does have a follow-up.
I didn't answer the question. Hoping.
He did have a follow-up with drink of choice to keep us up these late Canes games, which, our show-sponsored, not show-sponsored drink is Celsius.
Yeah, absolutely. What did I do yesterday? There was no watermelon
lemonade
or
is my
mango
fave.
lemonade. Watermelon or mango lemonade. I think I just did just a regular orange, which is very good.
Oh, okay. I need to try the orange.
Yeah.
There's only like 8,000 flavors, so I'll get around to it one day.
Yeah.
This one from Micah. What defenseman have the Canes had in the past that plays like Nikishin? Mixture of Gleason and Hannafin?
No.
LOL.
Okay, a mixture of Gleason and Hannafin. No. When Hannafin was here, Hannafin, super talented, but not all that swift. He's a much better player now than he was when he was with Carolina, which is why they were not interested in paying him. He does play. Actually, I'll just leave it as Tim Gleason. He's got more offense than Tim Gleason had, but if his game solidifies defensively like Tim Gleason's did, Carolina will be very, very happy because the offense he's got is considerable. And if he plays defense the way Gleason did, and you add offense to it, they don't need more.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
Well, this one from Tom. Have Stank and Jank made KK irrelevant?
Kind of depends on Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I was frankly a little annoyed at Kane's Twitter yesterday, but that's kind of par for the course because it is so funny to me how the first thing that Kane's Twitter goes to is like blaming somebody else for the fact that Kotkaniemi falls out of favor. You know who the number one culprit is here? Jesperi Kotkaniemi. The opportunity has always been there for him. Is the leash getting shorter? Yeah, it is. Because he has earned the shorter leash. I just don't know what to tell people. So I'm not even engaging anymore. Go howl at the moon about, just get him out of here. He'll be so much better everywhere else. No, he won't. It's him. He's the light must go on for him. He's not who he wants to be. Sorry.
Yeah.
Michael, that might happen to Andre too at some point.
Yeah. Well, this one from Chris. If the Broncos were available, would you pick them over the Bears?
No, if the Broncos were available, probably. Forget who the Broncos were playing this week. But they weren't an option for me, so I didn't pay close attention to it. But hold just 1 second. The Broncos are at home, right? The Broncos are at home to the Giants. Yes, I would have taken them over Chicago.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, the Giants are a bother. The Giants are too unpredictable for me.
Yeah.
And I also watched the Broncos play offense against the Jets. Jets defense isn't that good. Broncos were bad.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this one from Michael. Do you give the Panthers any chance in making the playoffs?
No.
Oh, Michael, that's cute.
No, I don't. But that should not have. The goal should have been, can you win the division would have been a goal, but that is out of the question because Tampa is legitimately good.
Yeah.
I don't think Atlanta's that good. We know New Orleans is bad. But if winning the division was their avenue to making the playoffs, that's gone for me, barring major injuries to the Buccaneers. So, no, but that doesn't mean that we can't have a good year and learn a lot more about this team and to an extent the coaching staff, although I don't think I'm changing my mind on that. When we come back, we'll reset and Minute Takes.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
An Allianz Life survey found that 56% of Americans fear a major market crash will wipe out their retirement savings. How do you protect against this risk? Joining me now is Coach Pete, president and founder of Capital Financial. Coach, what measures can be taken to safeguard retirement funds from major market downturns?
Well, number one, you need to have what we call a core and explore philosophy. Core money you need for the rest of your life, needs to be in a place you can't lose it. So core and explore, we also build in what we call a financial fill-up strategy. That means when you reach retirement, every single year for the rest of your life and the rest of your spouse's life, if they outlive you, you'll get a check delivered to your mailbox every single year that will never be less than it is the first year. Could be more, never less. Master retirement today. Call, let's put one together for you.
Connect with the fiduciary planning team, 888-456-7577, 888-456-7577, or text ZONE to 600-700.
Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Today, 1 in 5 working-age Americans has a mental health condition.
People in all types of jobs and at all levels.
And the key to helping us succeed is a supportive and inclusive workplace.
All of us have a role to play in making that happen.
So what can I do to help?
As a CEO, I can set the tone for supportive culture.
As a manager, I can offer assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can listen and be a source of support to my colleagues.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
I can offer all employees the supports they need to deliver on the job. For the team
and for the business.
What can I do?
What can I do?
What can I do?
I can remind others
that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Mental health-friendly workplaces are more important than ever.
And all of us have a role to play in promoting them.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Ball game. And the Dodgers win it 3-1, and they've taken a 3-game-to-none lead in this National League Championship Series on the verge of a sweep.
3-2 with 2 down, and Dominguez fires. Called strike 3 to end it. And the Blue Jays have battled back in a big way to even this series at 2. They win game 4, 8-2.
I got that game wrong. It was a good day for 40-somethings. Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
And Max Scherzer. Gosh. Good.
know.
Hey, look, good for the Blue Jays. Good for the Blue Jays to get back in this series.
Yeah.
Winning one game doesn't get you back in the series. Real quick, I remember, not this past year, but was it 3 years ago when the Devils surprised and made the playoffs and then beat the Rangers in the first round of the playoffs and set up a second-round meeting with the Hurricanes. Carolina had the home ice advantage, won games 1 and 2, and then the Devils won game 3. And I remember Nico Hischier is one of my favorite players in the entire league. I'm not being envious here, but I wish the Hurricanes had Nico Hischier. He's exactly the player. To me, he is like just a slightly lesser version of Alexander Barkov. An elite defensive player who can also score. And he's got good size. Anyway, I remember Hischier saying, now we're back in the series. And I thought, no, you got to win again. You're not back in the series because you win a home game. You're only back in the series after trailing 2-0 if you get the series even. And Carolina went out and beat the Devils in games 4 and 5 and advanced. And I think the Devils learned from their mistake a year ago, even though it was the exact same outcome. Canes won games 1 and 2 here, went to New Jersey, lost game 3, but won games 4 and 5. Anyway, that was the first round of the playoffs, and then they ended up beating Washington pretty handily, even though they did not have home ice advantage. The fact that the Blue Jays won big in game 3 only mattered if they won at least one of the next 2. I mean, ideally, you take a 3-2 lead back to Toronto, and they could do that. But they had to come out with a win in one of these 2 games. to take the series back, even if they trailed 3-2. But in the American League, the home team is yet to win. In the National League, the Brewers have yet to win. And it was a low-scoring game. I thought there would be a lot of runs yesterday. I think the final was 3-1? Dodgers win the game. And real quick, because it does matter, and this is the Adam Gold Show, and we're available on YouTube, and you should probably, if you haven't already, if you like us, you will go to YouTube, and you will search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan, and just subscribe.
Yeah.
Right? Just do that. Because, I mean, why not?
Mm-hmm.
So if people subscribe today, are they still in the running for whatever prize we've got?
Yeah, they have until
next Thursday.
Yeah, they have until Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you haven't subscribed,
Mm-hmm.
go do it, because I've been told there's a nifty prize.
I know.
And you could win. So why not? It doesn't cost you anything.
Exactly.
It's not like there's a fee to subscribe to the show.
Yeah.
So go do that. Anyway, I thought the Dodgers would win by I thought there would be a lot of runs in the game. There were not, but that series is going to end, right? And it isn't that Milwaukee's not good enough; it's that the Dodgers are.
Yeah.
That is entirely about the Dodgers, not about the Brewers.
And that machine.
Yeah, and they're not even getting much out of Shohei Ohtani, although
No.
I think he let off the game with a triple.
He's been.
Right, he let off the game with a triple. Mookie Betts singled him in.
Yeah,
Look,
but as a whole, he's been not
yeah,
great.
I mean, he hit I thought he won the first series,
But
the
that's okay.
division series, by homering in his first at bat.
Right? That's okay. He'll show up when they make it to the World Series.
I still, what was my pick? I picked the last couple of days. I picked Seattle to win the World Series. Now Seattle's got to get there.
Yeah.
Hey, look, maybe it's Toronto. And I'm not actively rooting against the Dodgers, but I know what is going to happen if and when the Dodgers win the World Series. And there will be a conversation about, well, that's what happens when you spend the most money.
Right.
Okay. I would just like to point out that spending the most money guarantees you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Forbes magazine put out a chart of baseball spending versus baseball revenue. And I know this is not going to come as a shock to anybody, but the really crappy teams don't invest money on the field.
Right.
They don't. Miami. The difference between where Milwaukee is in revenue, which is 18th in the league at $335 million, and Miami in revenue at $317. And by the way, I'm about to criticize Milwaukee here.
It's okay. Go for it.
Right?
I'm here for it.
There you go. Is that neither of these teams really have invested money into their teams on the field. Milwaukee spends a little bit less than 41% of their revenue on payroll. Now, that is just, I would say it's about 10%, maybe a little bit less, 8% lower than the median. But it's below the median.
Yeah.
You know what the Dodgers spend on their payroll in terms of a percentage?
Yeah.
73%.
Wow.
So, yes, do the Dodgers rake in money? The Dodgers and the Yankees are by miles the highest revenue teams in the big leagues. And we spend way too much time talking about market size. It's not about market size. It's about revenue. Another team that brings in a ton of money in revenue, the Atlanta Braves.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta is 6th, I believe, in revenue.
Okay.
Yeah, at $510 million.
Where are the Pirates on with that one?
Revenue, the Pirates are 20th in revenue, $326 million. The problem is that a lot of these teams are pretty close. They're within like $50 million in revenue. But where the Pirates are in terms of a percentage of their revenue on the field is of 30 teams, they're 27th of 30 teams. They spend less than 35% of their revenues on the field. That is the problem. And a salary cap, while a salary cap would alleviate this, because there would be a minimum that you must spend, and it would be significantly higher than 35%. Well, it would. These clubs, they don't want it. They only want it that way if they get a lot more money. In fact, an even split of money with the bigger clubs. And that's just never going to happen. It doesn't really happen in the NFL because the Cowboys there's a reason why the Cowboys are worth $12 billion and the Buccaneers aren't, right? Or the Jaguars aren't, because the Cowboys have access to monies. Now, what it's doing is it's just allowing them to keep more of their money.
Yeah.
If you are pro salary cap, you are pro billionaires keeping more money. That's just the way it is. What we need is not an economic system, but a way to embarrass the clubs that don't invest. There should be a league-wide penalty if you don't invest in your team. Yeah. And these teams, they complain that they can't compete, but you're not trying to compete. And I also believe this firmly. The fact that the Tampa Bay Rays, for the most part, for the last almost 20 years, have been one of the best teams on the field. They have simply figured out a different way to do it without spending money. Hey, if you can compete without doing it, you should be allowed to do that. I shouldn't have to spend money if I don't have to. That doesn't make any sense to me. It never has. It never will make sense to me. So, for my money, so pardon that pun, I think teams should be allowed to do whatever they want. But don't bitch about the system as preventing you from winning. Because the only thing preventing the Pirates or the Marlins or the White Sox or anybody from winning is what they are willing to do it. So there's a lot of Red Sox fans. By the way, the Red Sox are fourth in revenue.
Yeah.
The Red Sox made $574 million, not this year, last year.
Oof.
They invest in their team at 42%. That is 23rd in the league.
Wow.
Inexcusable that Boston does not invest more on the field. Inexcusable. But that's where we are. That was my rant. That was my anti-salary cap rant. Look, does it work for some leagues? Leagues that needed it to stay afloat? Yes. People are afraid that baseball is going to have a work stoppage. I disagree. I don't think they will. They're about to sign a bevy of new television deals coming off a season where more people were watching than have in the last, 15 years. Yeah, I don't think they're going to have a work stoppage, but I would be concerned about the next collective bargaining agreement. Not this one, the next one, and we'll see where the game is. I do think that we'll see an increasing number, changes to the system real quick. And I guess we're going to have to do minute takes later because we're running out of time here, and I've gone off on a rant.
It's okay. It happens. You're passionate about it.
And I just might be tired. The Dodgers have this Shohei Ohtani contract, which is almost entirely deferred money. Now, they don't pay zero in terms of, it doesn't add zero to the luxury tax bill, but it adds significantly less than it should to the luxury tax bill. So the Dodgers' luxury tax is actually way less than it could be if they were paying full freight for Ohtani. What I think will happen in this upcoming collective bargaining agreement negotiation, much like the NHL, which has now banned deferred money. Sorry, Tom Dundon, you thought you cracked the code, and maybe you did, but it's going away. I think we'll ban deferred money in terms of letting you off the hook for luxury tax stuff. They might not. They might allow teams to defer money, but whatever the dollars are, it will absolutely be reflected in the luxury tax threshold. And so they'll tweak things that way, and I think they will increase the amount of revenue sharing just by a little bit, because there is plenty of money that gets distributed to lower revenue clubs that they don't use. There should be a rule that every dollar you get in revenue sharing, every single dollar has to be used for payroll. Everyone. But that does not exist because it is way more important for the teams at the bottom to turn a profit than it is to put a good product on the field. And that won't change until the rules determine that it has to change.
Now you might need a nap.
I don't know. I don't even know what that... Did I prove anything? I didn't prove anything.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to talk Panthers with Will Palaszczuk. Willie P-Style does post-game for the Panthers, much like I do pre- and post-game for the Hurricanes. We're going to talk Panthers, winning streaks, Bryce Young, Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard, Xavier Legette, all of that with Will Palaszczuk next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
Prabula firing left side, seam picked off, and Alabama is going to hang on and win this one, 27-24.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Since it's a Friday, I'm looking at the forecast, and I think we're in luck for a weekend of riding. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and we finally made it to the end of the week, so it's time to de-stress a little with some motorcycle therapy. There is nothing like taking the bike out on a beautiful day, grabbing a bite to eat somewhere, taking in some scenes, and just forgetting about things for a while. But sometimes accidents can happen when you least expect them. So if you're ever in a wreck on your motorcycle, make sure to call my friends at Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're just like us. They're riders too, so they get it. They know the value of your bike, your gear, and the investment that you've made, and what it's like to go through an accident. The insurance company just wants to pay you the least amount possible. Case evaluations are always free, and you won't pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This party's getting crazy! Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Ah! Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs!
Okay, now it's a party!
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
It's Bo time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
What is dedication?
My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much. From the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is Adam Gold.
Steve Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick, bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
Yeah.
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. I have no idea how I got onto that rant either.
Well, it's baseball season.
Oh, we were talking about the playoffs because that was the return highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, here's what's going to happen when the Dodgers beat the Brewers and if they win the World Series again.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, and this is for Ace Frehley, RIP, 74.
Really?
Ace Frehley passed away yesterday, yeah. Apparently he had a fall and some maybe complications. I don't know. I haven't seen the details. But, yeah, he passed away yesterday at 74. So, RIP, Ace.
Yeah.
That's sad.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was not a Kiss fan.
Yeah.
Growing up, but
that's one thing. Like, it's all over my timelines everywhere of all the people that just were impacted by like Kiss and their music. So
and the costumes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
Forever. Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not saying they weren't good, right? They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Sure. Yeah.
So obviously they're good, but yeah, to me it was the show that was iconic about Kiss. Hey, who is it? Is it Paul Stanley still doing? He's doing those commercials on TV.
Oh yeah.
Hysterical.
Oh yeah. They're still making money.
The Billy Idol part of that is the best part. Let's be honest. The Billy Idol part of that is Gwen Stefani can get out of these commercials. We don't need Gwen Stefani in these commercials. Billy Idol in the commercials is where it's at.
Holla back, girl.
These are my interns. Yeah, very good. Will Palaszczuk, at Willie P Style on Twitter. Voice of Charlotte FC. We are going to talk about that, but also post-game show for the Carolina Panthers. I want to start with the Panthers, and then we will get to the Crown, sir.
Sure.
How real are the last 2 weeks in your eyes?
I think they are real in the sense that they have taken advantage of situations that have favored them, given two teams that are very poor defensively stopping the run, and they took advantage of a Miami team that, let's be real, let them back into the football game with some soft coverage, and Bryce Young made throws that he hadn't made to this point of the season, outside of maybe a couple of instances in the Atlanta contest and against soft coverage against Arizona. I think there's maybe a little bit more real of what we saw last week, because I think you obviously know that at least you believe that the Cowboys are a better football team than the Dolphins. I think, and I said this on our local station this week, they have a chance to prove to me, not because of who they're playing, but they have a chance to prove to me more Sunday than they have in either of the last 2 weeks, because taking it on the road is something that they have not done consistently well during Bryce Young's era and in Dave Canales' era. And I think if they can do that, then I think there's something real here.
Will Palaszczuk is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Here's the thing for me about them this week. It's not just taking it on the road. That obviously is a factor.
Sure.
But they go into this week, and actually at the beginning of the week, they were underdogs. But they are now the favorites. They are now a 1.5 point favorites. The game opened 1.5 the other way. So now there is an expectation, at least from outside the building. There was probably an expectation inside, but it's harder to win when you are expected to win. You have a responsibility. There's more. You can always pull an upset. Anybody can pull an upset because in some ways it's unexpected. But I think that dynamic changes the game for me. There is an expectation that they will go to New York or New Jersey and have their way with the Jets, even though it's a very, very small spread.
Well, I think part of this too, Adam, is that it doesn't just matter how it doesn't matter whether they win or not. I think it matters how they win. And I think this has to be, I think, a bit more decisive than the last 2 weeks. Like, I don't want to see the Panthers having to, play a ball control drive down the stretch to get a last-minute field goal against the New York Jets. I want to see them win decisively, and I also want to see them do it with Bryce Young playing well. Yes, I do think the run game is going to be a heavy feature part of it with Rico Dowdle and then Chuba Hubbard coming back. Chuba, according to what Dave Canales told us about an hour ago, says he is good to go. And, we see about Damian Lewis. They say he's day-to-day. That kind of concerns me a little bit, although they are getting the chance to potentially get Austin Corbett back. So you can kind of plug Corbett in at left guard. I wouldn't change and mess around anything with Cade Mays because I think he's played well, and I think Brady C has played well also. But I think at the end of the day, you look at this team and say, hey, they've won 3 games without Bryce Young playing a representative football game. And I think you can't just hide the quarterback in plain view in this league. You have to be able to prove that Bryce can do those things absent the mistakes, absent, doing the check down Charlie stuff. He has to be able to make big time throws and do it on a consistent basis and do it in a scenario where you're not throwing picks to the other team. I know the one he threw last week wasn't necessarily his fault, so I think you give him some grace there.
Necessarily. It was a perfect throw.
Exactly. So from that perspective, I think, his line might be a little bit cruel in that result. But I think at the same point in time, I'm not saying he's got to throw for 400 yards because I think if he's throwing for 400 yards, that probably means that they've done something completely wrong and they're having to come back in the contest. But I think, looking back on the game, I hope you look at this from a Panthers fan perspective and say, hey, not only do we win convincingly, but Bryce played the kind of game that you expect the number 1, one quarterback to play.
Will Palaszczuk is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I want to dig down a little bit more on Bryce because I think the last 2 weeks he has made big-time throws when necessary. The 4th down throw to Jimmy Horn Jr. against the Dolphins was a perfect throw to a smaller, it wasn't even a big receiver. It wasn't to Teteroa McMillan or Xavier Leggett. The throw he made to Leggett for the touchdown against Miami that got them their first touchdown, I thought might have saved 2 players' seasons, Leggett's and Bryce Young's, because that was a throw to an area with that was not necessarily he wasn't throwing to an open receiver. Right?
Yeah, he threw him open.
That was a trust throw that I did not think we would see Bryce throw to Leggett. I thought we could see it thrown to Renfro or to McMillan, but not to Leggett. I thought that was an incredibly good thing. So I think we have seen some of those things. I think that Dave Canales in the last 2 weeks has recognized that in order to get the best out of this offense, it's got to feature the run, and I don't think he really did that the first several weeks. They were messing around trying to pass first. Run it.
No, I think that's something incredibly prescient, Adam, just based on the fact that, there were even times in even the Atlanta game where I'm saying, hey, you could run the football more. You could afford to run the football more against this team. Heck, even last week I'm sitting here and saying, give Rico the rock. I was trying to make run Rico run as the hashtag trending on Twitter. And I think, again, the same thing can be said with this week. New York is not great defensively. They're probably better than some of the teams they've seen recently.
They're better than Dallas and Miami.
They are marginally. But I think, again, at the same point in time, you look at this and say this is a spot where you would favor the Panthers to go ahead and do that and do so without impunity. But the thing about Bryce is that the anticipation throws were a big part of why he was good down the stretch last year. And I don't think that's necessarily a big part of that. I think, honestly, he hasn't gotten a lot of help from his receivers. I mean, Tedero McMillan drops the ball last week. There was a couple of other instances in games earlier this year where, while he's had good games, there's like 1 or 2 moments a game where you see a drop from him. We obviously have very well chronicled the Xavier Legette inconsistency scenario, and I think getting Jalen Coker back this week also impacts him tremendously, because that gives you just another option, particularly on third down. And even Hunter Renfrow is somebody who I think he maybe goes to, disappears in certain games. Yes, he had the big 4th down catch last week, but that was really the only impact he made on the contest. So from the standpoint of where you sit, and even also this is not even talking about the tight end passing game too, where I think they've seen some flashes, but not necessarily a lot of consistency. And a lot of that's due to the fact that they haven't had the number 1 option in Jatavion Sanders. So I say all that to say, this is about as stacked a receiving core as Bryce Young's going to have at this point of the season. And I think that will definitely help his numbers look a little bit more gaudy and a little bit more of what we expect from somebody who is playing winning football. Not to say that he hasn't had moments in games, like you said, where he's been very, very good. I think he was 10 of 10 while they were down in the last contest against Dallas. So I guess what I'm saying is, you're not going to I would like to get to a point where you don't have to like knife down into the PFF metrics and get deep in the kitty to show good things from Bryce. I just want to sit there and say, hey, in the box score, boom, 80% passing, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Give me one of those lines. That's all I'm saying.
Right. It's funny, and I want to move to the defensive side of the ball, because that's where I really felt like we learned something the last couple of weeks. That to me is the real encouraging thing here. And ESPN had a question. I guess it was on Get Up. Are teams actually, I want to read it because are young quarterbacks not being given enough time to develop? You're kidding. You're just figuring this out now, right? Like people like me have been talking about this for literally 10 years. We draft quarterbacks too early, we put them on the field too early, and then we get rid of them too early, and all you got to do is look around the league and see Baker Mayfield on Team 4. Sam Darnold, good again. Is Sam Darnold the best quarterback in the league? No, but he's obviously a good NFL quarterback. And this is what, Team 4 for Darnold now? Geno Smith, good quarterback. We ruin quarterbacks as a rule. No league ruins players faster than the National Football League. Now
it's like baseball. You want someone else to develop your pitching, and then you get them.
Is that what the Mets? Is that what we're trying to do with the Mets?
I mean.
Yeah, never mind.
Don't even get me started, Adam.
Never mind. We did well. We just didn't make the playoffs. Looks like we've got a couple of really good, maybe 3 really good young pitchers to throw out there next year, including a kid from Garner High School right down the street here in Nolan McLean, who was nasty at the end of the year. All right, let me ask you about the defense, Willie, because I thought that we learned a lot about their defense against Dallas. That's one of the best offenses in the league. And yes, Dallas put up a bunch of points, but that was entirely about Dak Prescott to George Pickens and to the tight end to an extent. But they didn't run the ball on Carolina. And the Panthers look like they might have a credible defense now.
They do, and I think part of this, and Ejiro Avero talked about this Thursday, the switch of Trevin Wallace to wearing the green dot has worked out a heck of a lot better than when it was with Christian Roseboom, because it seemed like Roseboom, didn't really, whether it was a lack of knowledge of the scheme or just not being in the right spots, it really looked like they were kind of fishes out of water when they had to play against the run earlier in the year, particularly against Jacksonville and Arizona. The fact is now this is enough of a sample size where you look at this and say they've at least reversed this, at least for the moment. Again, Breece Hall is a very big running back. We'll see whether or not he can get his against the Panthers for New York. But I expect Carolina to once again, lock down on the run, particularly because Justin Fields doesn't have anybody to throw to after the loss of Garrett Wilson.
It wouldn't matter if he did have somebody to throw to.
Also true. And I think too, the thing that still frustrates me is their reticence to let J.C. Horn travel on the other team special receiver. Yes, that's not necessarily something you look at and say is a big factor going into this week. But, you would have liked to see maybe an adjustment made at some point earlier on than maybe the last offensive drive for Dallas to say, hey, maybe J.C., you follow George Pickens. And you saw what happened. You saw Dak looked away from Pickens. They tried to go with the screen game, and they ended up getting stopped 3 times. So I do think it's a situation where maybe they try to, change that a little bit. I know that he's reticent because of the zone heavy scheme to want to travel a corner with a wide receiver, but we've heard JC say he's okay with doing it, and we've seen how well it's affected other teams. I'd like to see that happen a lot more often. Those are the only 2 things that I look at and say, hey, how real is this run defense, and whether or not J.C. Horn can travel against a team special receiver. Other than that, and also just the pass rush needs to be a heck of a lot better. The loss of Pat Jones obviously is something to look at and say is a big blow. It's not like they were doing a lot with him, but hopefully the 2 young guys, Scorton and Umami Ellen, can maybe get upfield to get forward a little bit more, that make sure that they can get home and get some more pressure on the quarterback. Because other teams, particularly Josh Allen and the Bills a week from now, will hurt them if they can't get pressure.
Yeah, and even if you do get pressure, you got Josh Allen might hurt you.
You got to get him on the ground.
Right, he's a unicorn. Sure. There's a handful of those on Earth. Are the Panthers going to MetLife Stadium and getting a win, Willie?
I do.
Okay.
I think they win something like a 27-10 type game. Again, I think it's one of those ones where maybe there's a couple of field goals early. Maybe they play with their food a little bit, but I think they come out with an intensity second half. One of the things they did, the big thing they did against Dallas is won the middle 8. They got 10 points.
Yeah.
They were plus 10 in the middle 8. I didn't like how they throttled down in the opening half, but I know they were trying to get the ball out of Dak Prescott's hands. They ended up getting the field goal after the Xavier Legette crazy lateral, but they did get a touchdown right at the beginning of the middle 8, middle of the third quarter, I should say, the start of the third quarter. And I think if you win the middle 8, you win this football game. Easy peasy.
Yeah, especially if the Jets decide that they're actively trying to not score when they get the ball right before the end of the first half. All right, let's get to the other football team that plays at Bank of America Stadium. The last time we talked, it was in the middle of, I guess toward the end of this absolute heater where I think they had won 9 in a row, and Toklamati was scoring a goal every single match. It's cooled off a little bit. The surprising home loss to Montreal is what probably has put them in the position that they're in right now. Do they have to win? I mean, they're going to lose a lot of track position if they don't win against the best team in the league on Saturday.
They can get there with a draw. New York City plays Seattle. That's the other result that kind of affects where Charlotte FC is. If they do better than New York, then they basically are in, or at least equal to or better than New York, because they have the tiebreaker on New York. So if New York loses and they lose, they'd also need a Nashville result to go the other way. They play Miami. But win and in is the easiest scenario for them to get 4th spot, which gets you home field advantage in the opening round. Again, a draw can get them in, but again, the easiest route forward is a win. Philly's got nothing to play for. I don't think they'll rest anybody, but I think it's very fair to expect some natural complacency coming in for Philadelphia because they got nothing on the game. I think they're going to go out there and maybe, turn it into a glorified track session. Maybe, who knows? But at the same point in time, I don't expect them to rest anybody because with the international break, that puts you out basically 3 weeks with no games. So I think you see them play their guys. But I think Charlotte FC is very good in their building. I think they played them pretty even last time we saw Philadelphia. They were heavily rotated, so it wasn't like it was the full first-choice guys out there. But they don't have anybody that you look at and say is a world beater. They got a lot of really good guys, like 8 out of 10 type guys, but they don't have anybody like a Messi that strikes fear into your heart. Yeah, they got a good striker in Ty Baribo. But I look at them and I say, hey, you have to beat the high press. You have to beat the physicality. If you can break the lines, if you can get a couple of chances, you win this game.
Will Palaszczuk is joining us, the voice of Charlotte FC. Final thing about this, and Dean Smith's done an amazing job with this group, and it looked at one point that they might be able to finish even maybe second in the East. They have now been overtaken by Miami, who looks like they're healthy, and obviously they've got, like historically great talent in spite of the fact that it's old, but it's still incredibly incredible talent. When Patrick Agyemang goes to Derby and Pep Biel is hurt, and you think, man, where are goals going to come from? They got him. They really, other than the last couple of matches, haven't really had trouble scoring, right?
Mm-mm.
You've got Wilfried Zaha, who looks like the player that they thought they were getting. Toklamati has been tremendous. I don't know how many matches in a row he either scored or assisted on a goal.
Something like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So it was proficient, definitely.
So the offense is there, no?
It is. Well, it's not just the offense. It's how much they feel like they can control and dictate the terms because of Zaha. You saw that personified in the game against DC, where he basically drew a red card from a guy headbutting him, pulling
Right.
a Zinedine Zidane. And then in the exact next phase, because of that, for the free kick that resulted from that red card, he did a 1-2 with a player who's, I think, played maybe 17 minutes this season in MLS play, in Nikola Pekovic. He did a simple 1-2 with a player who's a young dude and got a moment of class and scored a goal, and they go out and they win. Yes, you would have liked more goals in an 11v9 scenario, but it just shows you he's that thing that they didn't have last year. He's that player who strikes fear into the opposition's hearts, the red pen guy on the other side, if you will. You mentioned Toklamati. Vargas is playing well also.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing, too, without Pep Biel, yes, you lose the offense, but I think you gain a defensive solidarity that you don't have when Pep Biel is in there, because the defensive trio of Brandt Bronico, Gabriel Gianni, and Ashley Westwood, I think makes them more solid defensively. Bronico at the top of the press is a problem for oppositions, but I also think he also stays somewhat more attached with the rest of the midfield so that they don't get lost, they don't get stretched out too thin, and I think you can play an incredible defensive solidarity game, particularly also if you get Harry Toffolo back at the left back position. That gives you as much of a first choice side as you're going to have going into the postseason, as healthy as you can be minus Pep Biel.
All right, well, we look forward to talking playoffs. I know for those of us who primarily watch the English League, we don't know from playoffs. But playoffs in America are awesome, and we need more playoffs in America, not less, as some people will have you believe. Willie P. Style on Twitter. I appreciate your time. Will Palaszczuk, the voice of Charlotte FC. Go Panthers against the Jets, because losing to the Jets is embarrassing.
We need Goldie playoff trip. We need Goldie in the building for a playoff game if it doesn't conflict with the Canes.
All right, we will work that out. And I have youth soccer to also deal with, but we're all over the place. So for all I know, I'll be in Charlotte.
I know the train works. The train works.
The train does work. All right, man, take care. Will Palaszczuk here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, we're going to break. We're going to come back. We're going to stretch. We're going to place bets. 2:00. We will give you minute takes because I know you need them. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
There's no time like fair time, y'all. The 2025 NC State Fair runs October 16th to 26th in Raleigh and is jam-packed with fun for the whole family. Come enjoy tasty eats, free entertainment, livestock competitions, giant pumpkins, nightly fireworks, and so much more. This year's NC State Fair is the event you can't miss. Bring your friends, bring your family, and make memories that you'll be talking about till next year. Get your tickets today at ncstatefair.org.
Whether it's helping you work, save, or steer clear from fraud, AARP North Carolina is making sure your money, health, and happiness live as long as you do. Each week, AARP Without Limits meets people and explores topics to help improve how we live and age in North Carolina. You can also learn more about getting the most out of life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
We had to exit the home pretty quickly because of how quickly the water came in. It was just really vital to me whenever all the public service announcements were going out, that we needed to get our water tested.
We need to, get in the field and start helping people disinfect their water supplies.
It's really critical to their health to be able to have that safe drinking water.
They were reaching out to me to make sure that I knew that there were resources available.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Listen on radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com. Carolina Newsmakers is presented in part by the North Carolina Academy of Family Physicians, advancing family medicine in North Carolina since 1947.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
This is Adam Gold.
The American Cornhole League. I don't know if you can wager on it. Let me go to FanDuel and find out if you can wager on it.
I think I read you can get a scholarship. Kids in high school can actually get scholarships for cornholing. Who knows? I don't know what the technical term is.
I'm just not going to say anything.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. Roundtable next hour. A man who gained some notoriety this week.
I know.
With his follow-up question of Bill Belichick. Pat Welter.
Yeah, he's on it.
Absolutely on it. And our friend Vashti from CarolinaBlitz.com. I'm excited to talk with her too.
I missed her.
Come
come on the show.
For whatever reason, we have not spoken in a minute.
She's been busy, so
she's always busy. Well, I mean, what is that?
But
There's
that's
no
what I'm
difference.
saying. She's been busy, so
She's-
sometimes it's hard to get people who are busy.
She's literally everywhere. I don't know how she does it, but she does, and we're thankful for it. But that'll be in the roundtable coming up in a little bit. Right now, time to stretch.
Okay, so like I mentioned, just in case anyone else has not heard about Ace Frehley, he did pass away yesterday at 74. He was hospitalized with a brain bleed after falling, and his family took him off life support last night. So that's what happened if no one had heard about it. But a little bit of background with Ace. He was the lead guitarist, also spaceman behind the Kiss band from the inception in 1973 until his departure. You know, there's always drama with these boy bands in 1982. So then came back for a little reunion tour. He also made a lot of music by himself. And this the bump song that I just played was one of his that he had written for Kiss. So good for him. He was a great songwriter. So yeah, the guys in Kiss also, even though they had some drama, Paul and Gene, they kind of divas. I mean, they do wear makeup and wear pumps or whatever. The shoes. But they said, we are devastated by the passing of Ace Frehley. He was an essential and irreplaceable rock soldier during some of the most formative foundational chapters of the band in its history. He will always be missed as part of Kiss's legacy. Our thoughts are with all of the loved ones, including the fans all around the world. So I know how much music can impact people's lives, and since Kiss is one of those bands that definitely makes impacts in music, it's difficult for some fans, I'm sure, today. So I'm sure a lot of people will be listening to Kiss all day today in his memory. But so hate to see that for sure. So, but this is kind of random. So with it being spooky season, usually there's like mystery and kind of eeriness going on, or just in my brain because I love spooky season. But in Montana, University of Montana has a 30-year-old pumpkin mystery. So
a 30-year-old pumpkin mystery for the University of Montana.
Yes. So if you're not aware of this, which I was not, supposedly there is some kind of pumpkin that keeps appearing every fall that's stuck on top of a spear. And it's on top of the university's main hall in Missoula. So I don't know where that's at, but it sounds really high from what they're talking about here, because everyone is baffled as to how this is happening. You could kill yourself doing this. It's so tall. So they're like, we don't understand who's doing this, and if it's a group of people or it's one person, they have no idea, which if it's been happening for 30 years, at some point it's going to stop if it's just a person. But yeah, they don't know if it's just a group of people who are really good at climbing tall things, but they're just completely baffled as to what's going on here. So I'm going to have to Google and see what this looks like, but it's just some random pumpkin, I guess, that keeps just being stabbed through a spear at the university. I don't know who started that tradition.
Who knows what they're doing over there?
How did you get that going? So, yeah, the local news, however, did say that they spoke with an anonymous being where they blurred out their image and even disguised their voice. It was very Secret Service-y type, and they think they know who is doing this, but they're not letting anybody know. So, of course, which is probably them. So who knows? Who knows? They're keeping it going. But one thing that's not a mystery is holidays are expensive. So I was reading about how it just keeps getting more and more expensive, just like everything, like our eggs. So there are two polls on Halloween spending, which I feel like this is a little excessive, but they say the average person will spend about $289 per year.
On Halloween?
On Halloween.
For what?
And I know, exactly. And if you have kids, they say it's even more at $445.
What kind of costume you getting?
I know. This thing is saying where their money goes. They're only saying $58 is for the costumes, which... No,
what kind of candy you buying?
Well, I will say those
Godiva. Everybody gets Godiva.
Everyone gets the Lindt chocolate.
Get out of here.
No, it's ridiculous.
Those balls, those
with the nuts on the.
No. They're like you roll them up. They're different.
Yeah, that's the Lindt.
Filling.
That's the Lindt with like the creamy like chocolate or
those
something.
Are good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
those
top notch.
Really
no, kids
good.
aren't getting that stuff.
We put those. We drop those in Christmas stockings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're not handing that out to trick-or-treaters.
No shot.
But no, they're saying $58 for costumes, $57 for decorations, $51 for party supplies if you have a party, $51 on tickets to do things like haunted houses, and they're saying $50 for trick-or-treaters on the candy, and then they just have $23 for other stuff. Like other stuff, whatever that is. So yeah, I don't know. save your decorations like I do and just add to them year after year, what are we doing? I'm running out of room, though. Let me say, the house is running out of, which I'm sure you're feeling this because your wife loves decorating like I do. But no. What are we doing here? $300? No. And the best costumes are one that you make anyway, like homemade ones. So, no, what are we doing, people? But you know what you could do, and you probably should do, is listen to our bets, because that'll help you win money.
Your bets, place your bets. Here. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
I got both baseball games wrong, but I did tell you that the Bengals would beat the Steelers last night.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I definitely did. Yes, got the Dodgers in the under plus 165. And then Jarvis, anytime goal scorer, nailed it, plus 165. But on the afternoon show, Tim was asking our first goal scorers. Right. I picked Jarvis in the first after 10 minutes. Boom. I know.
Wow. if you played that.
I know. If I had actually put real money on it. Oh, that'd be great. But hopefully these will turn out just the same because I am taking the Dodgers. Let's sweep the Brewers out with those L flags, shall we? So give me the Brewers. I'm going to take the under because it's been working for me ever since. Plus 190.
All right. We are going to start with the football game tonight. The most important game played in the state of California.
Yeah.
UNC at Cal. Tar Heels getting 8.5. That's it?
Oh.
That's it? Yeah. Cal covers over 47.5 plus 225.
Nice. I don't know if I said Brewers or Dodgers. I'm taking the Dodgers. Sorry. I'm thinking two steps ahead. I'm taking the Dodgers because I can't see the Brewers. But the Carolina Panthers are in New York taking on the Jets. And I've got to go with Teteroa McMillan to be an anytime touchdown scorer because he's plus money, and I feel like that's a good idea. Plus 175.
Jets win under 42.5 plus 244.
Oh, nice. Not nice. UFC, organized violence, punch and fight is happening this weekend. Give me Manon Ferro. And I want her to win by the points. Plus, or that's actually minus 135. Put it in a parlay, though.
By the way, I'm going to be wrong about the Panthers. But, yeah, I don't know. I think going on the road, all that. All right, so the answer to the question before. The Liverpool-Manchester United match. Liverpool will win. Both teams will score. If you add a Mo Salah anytime goal, it's plus 260. That's the pick.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Pack Therapy is in session, thanks to First Horizon Bank. It's Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan, alongside legendary Wolfpack play caller Mike Glennon.
Every episode of Pack Therapy is your chance to get dialed in with inside information on your team.
We'll set you up for every Wolfpack game all season long.
And we'll break down every contest, what went right and what could have worked better.
Plus, special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts and watch every episode on YouTube.
Hey hockey fans, it's Tripp Tracy. If you're ready to upgrade your outdoor living space, look no further than TimberTech Decking and Railing. TimberTech is the #1 premium composite decking brand, and it's tough enough to handle anything. It looks just like real wood, but without the costly maintenance of a wood deck. It won't rot, warp, splinter, or peel, ever. And it's backed by industry-leading warranties, so your deck will last year after year. Connect with a local contractor or order free samples at TimberTech.com to see the TimberTech difference for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
For more than 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have honored over 200 student athletes that are making a difference on their team and in their community. If you are a teacher, parent, coach, or guardian, nominate your Scholar Athlete today. We will select one winner a month to be featured on 99.9 The Fan and on WRAL News Plus. To nominate a winner, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Congrats to last year's winners.
Ansley Ayers, Brianna McMillan, Samayan Jones, Kristen Norton, Lexi Taylor, EJ Reed, Isabel Woke, Nathan Fife, Rachel Lambert.
This award is more than a celebration of exceptional athletes. It's also a celebration of the schools and the communities that help them grow into the incredible leaders that we like to celebrate.
It means a lot to me to just be able to be recognized in such a wide area with so many amazing athletes. So I just feel great to feel like someone's seeing all the hard work that I've been putting into my sport and my academics. So I'm very grateful for it.
It means a lot to me because my parents, they want me to do well and make it in life, so this is for them. I try to work hard in the classroom and on the court for them and do my best.
I'm so thankful for my coaches and my teammates and my parents who have just made this possible.
Congratulations to all of our Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athletes of the Month. If you want to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/send-us-in.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Let's talk about this Domesday defense. They are right now on pace to give up the highest passer rating in NFL history. Right now, currently, 116.9 passer rating against this defense. They are guys wide ass open. And to me, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Schematically, from personnel, they don't attack people. This is an awful defense, and unfortunately, you're going to leave this great offense at home. You're going to be watching in the playoffs when you shouldn't be.
Rex Ryan laying it out there. All right. Coming up in a little bit, the Roundtable, Pat Welter and Vashti Hurt. We will talk a lot about the Panthers. We will talk a lot about the Tar Heels as well. North Carolina plays tonight. 10 o'clock, right? 10:30?
Think so.
Yeah, it's the second game of an ACC doubleheader on ESPN.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do they not know I've just stayed up till 2:30 in the morning with hockey 2 out of the last 3 nights, and I'm going to do the same tomorrow?
Yeah, they've linked up with Celsius and know this, so.
Come on. Mm-hmm. Give a brother a break.
Yeah. Well, it's a weekend. Maybe you can sleep later. Eventually.
All right. Ready to do minute takes? All right, we were supposed to do this earlier, but I went off on a tangent about baseball and salaries and no salary cap. And I realize I'm on a little bit of an island there, but I don't really care. All right, let's do it. We have minute takes, and I will start with the North Carolina game at Cal. Golden Bears are favored by 8.5. Carolina doesn't have to win the game. They don't even have to be particularly close to winning the game. remember the mission for the Tar Heels this week, and really as many games as they have left. They've got to be competent. You can lose by 2 touchdowns and look competent. You can. That's the mission for them. I don't believe they've got Power 4 level players. Some of them are, but not nearly enough. And I don't think their defense is good enough to slow Cal down. So I see Cal winning big, but I think North Carolina can still look credible, even if I think Cal's going to cover the 8.5.
I think so. All right. Well, next up, we've got my App State staying at home against Coastal, and it's sold out again. Good job, people on the mountain.
When is it not?
And it's homecoming this weekend. So fans are encouraged to wear gold as a response to their grassroots efforts. So create a gold-oriented environment, people. And Coastal Carolina, so they've won 4 of the last 5 meetings, including a Boone breakthrough in 2023. However, here's a fun little fact. I looked at this record. Coastal's record so far this season: loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So now they're due for a loss.
Oh, yeah.
And,
seesaw.
Yes, exactly. And it's on the Rock. App, they're on a heater right now. They also didn't commit any turnovers in their last couple games, so if they keep it clean, this could get nasty. Yeah. So I'm going with App with this one.
App's a 10.5-point favorite. That's a big spread.
I know.
All right, over at Wallace Wade Stadium in front of dozens and dozens of people. Georgia Tech is undefeated. Duke is undefeated in the ACC. I think Georgia Tech can still be a playoff team with a loss to Duke. But that would mean they've got to beat Georgia at the end of the season, which they should have done last year in Athens. They can do at Bobby Dodd. But my interest is not in whether or not Georgia Tech makes the playoff. I think Duke wins the game. I think they throw the ball with success and they hit them with the run late. But I think this is going to be super fun throughout. High scoring, a game in the 30s, maybe even touching into the 40s. Georgia Tech loses to Duke by a field goal. Blue Devils.
Close game. Well, we will see how that goes. Another one that could be close. We'll see. My Panthers in New Jersey taking on the Jets. This feels like a trap game, if I'm being honest, because with them being, the Jets not having any win and the Panthers love to hurt me, I'm concerned. But I'm also concerned about what they're going to do with Rico and Chuba, because with Chuba coming back, are they going to try to split them up again? We saw that in the beginning of the season, and it didn't really work out well. Rico, he's on one right now. So is Canales going to stick with Rico? They need to do the run game. Either way, Jets defense is not as bad as the last 2 teams that they played. So if they can keep it clean, potentially maybe stick with what's working with them. Xavier still catching the balls like he should be. Get the tight ends involved. I think this will be good for the Panthers. If.
Real quick, what you brought up about the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Dave Canales, it's not that I don't think Chuba Hubbard's good or I don't value him. The way Rico Dowdle's running, he's my starter, and Chuba gets... See, the problem is that Chuba's not really a great third down back because he doesn't catch the ball as well out of the backfield as Dowdle. So, for me, I'm featuring Dowdle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ignoring Chuba, but I'm featuring Rico Dowdle. The way he's run the ball right now, I think you just got to keep feeding him.
Yeah.
It's about winning the game. It's not about making your professional athletes happy. It's about winning the game. And if Dave decides, Chuba's the starter, blah, blah, blah. Like, Chuba better be running the ball well because it would not last very long before I started featuring Dowdle. He's just running the ball too well right now, and I would just keep feeding number 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go. All right, we go to Minnesota. Eagles and Vikings. This blew me away. The Eagles have been outgained in every game they have played this year. Their offense looks very mediocre. A.J. Brown is not only reading books, but I think he's doing crossword puzzles now on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
There is something going on that isn't great in Philadelphia. And I think Minnesota's defense is exceptionally good. But I think this is a game where Philly just kind of figures it out and wins a weird one and maybe snaps back to being the team that they're supposed to be. I'm also not 100% sold that J.J. McCarthy is it yet. And he's coming back off a layoff, pretty long layoff. I think the Eagles can do enough defensively to keep this game low scoring, and they win a tight one.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes, just like with UFC Vancouver. Organized violence, cannot wait. And one that I'm really excited for this one because I really like her. Minot Ferro, and it's Jasmine Jasdevicius. And I think Jasmine's really good at all three different ways of, kind of winning against her opponents. However, Minot, she either wants to knock you out or let it go to decision. This one, however, because you never want to let the judges determine what's going to happen. So I think if Jasmine has the ability to submit Minot, that's her only path of victory. I don't see that happening. Minot's got a lot of power, and I could see her knock out Jasmine. So in this one, I've got to go with her. Let's not go to the judges because they're completely, especially with female fights, it's like all over the board. So
Really?
I think, yes.
Is it harder to judge a female fight? I don't understand that.
They're just closer. It's not as obvious
Okay.
technically wise. Like it's just, yeah. So I would not do that. But that's with all the fight. Like taking it to the judges, I would never recommend that as a fighter to do that because the judges are also sometimes really bad.
That is true.
they just.
But that's like
terrible
all
at scoring.
officiating. It's all officiating. How
I
do you do
know
that?
it's the worst. So I would not recommend that.
All right, finally. Again, it's the third time I've been asked about. Well, nobody asked me about this one, but Liverpool, Manchester United. It is English football's top rivalry. Although you would get an argument from Arsenal, Tottenham fans, and the North London derby. Liverpool has lost their last two league matches. They have given up. They have conceded goals late to both Crystal Palace and Chelsea, and it would hurt deeply if that were to happen to a side as messed up as United. At Anfield, Liverpool has won 4, drawn 3, and lost none against United. I think Liverpool wins a match 2-1, so minus 165. Both teams score. Mo Salah, because he will be the penalty taker if there is a penalty. Mo Salah, anytime goal scorer, that would get your odds up to 261. Or you just say forget the goal scorer, and it's plus 150 to get Liverpool at home in a match. That's not bad either. And then, if depending on where you are, you can get a profit boost.
Oh, there you go.
Make it even better.
Mm-hmm. We like
Which
those.
I may have done. All right, that'll do it for Minute Takes. When we come back, it's the Roundtable. We'll talk Panthers and Tar Heels next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you wherever you go. Your favorite hosts, podcasts, and live sports action all in one place. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Finally, there's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
This party's getting crazy! Are those mini horses? And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Ah! Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs!
Okay! Now it's a party!
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too, so we understand what your bike and gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and we don't get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
It's Bo time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
This is Dr. Craig McGiffin with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots? Whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 70,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs significantly less and tends to work much faster. Ready for real, lasting results? Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. I've lost 40 pounds thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, but most importantly, I've been maintaining that weight as well. The Raleigh Weight Loss Center program has successfully helped thousands of people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in 60 days. Schedule your free 15-minute phone call to learn more. Call Raleigh Weight Loss Center at 919-897-7506 or visit them online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
This is Adam Gold.
And we're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool.
What are you doing? Get off Twitter. It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. A little bit later on, we will talk Canes win last night with Tripp Tracy. The Carolina Hurricanes are 4-0 on the season, the only undefeated team. Actually, not the only undefeated team. The only team that has won each of their games in the NHL. I believe Colorado has no losses. They have an overtime loss. I guess that's a defeat. You get a point out of it. So I don't know how we phrase it, but the Hurricanes are unblemished. 8 points from 4. No team in the league can say that. We'll talk to Tripp Tracy a little bit later on about the Canes' latest win. We do this every Friday. It's fun. We get to talk to really cool people about the stuff that you care about. It's called the Roundtable.
Camelot. It's only a model.
I can't believe it has been as long as it has been since we have talked to Vashti Hurt, the brains, the brawn behind CarolinaBlitz.com. She covers everything. Maybe that's why we haven't spoken to her. She's been everywhere. She joins us. And Pat Welter, WRAL TV5, who has become maybe internationally famous with his questioning of Bill Belichick at the press conference on Monday. Thank you both for your time. Vashti, because it's been longer since I have spoken with you, I am going to start with you. I want you to tell me what you make of the Panthers' last 2 wins, or last 2 games, which were both wins.
Yeah, I'm pessimistically optimistic, if that makes sense. We've been here before, and there have been times where the Panthers have shown hope and shown promise, and they've fallen off of a cliff. The expectation is that they finally found their groove. Canales has finally found his groove with play calling. He and Bryce have developed more of a collaborative relationship, and the defense is stopping the run. So it seems as if this Panthers team has done well. They have struggled on the road, so we'll see what they do against a Jets team that is desperate for a win. But, I don't want to get too high on this team too soon.
I do appreciate pessimistically optimistic. What's the most impressive thing you have seen out of the Panthers the last 2 weeks, Pat?
Oh, it's got to be Rico Dowdle. And maybe I'm speaking from my own shades there because he's on my fantasy team and is quite literally just elevating my happiness and that whole season. But, that's a guy that I liked at Dallas, like just physically body type. If you kind of saw him out there, you're like, this guy looks the part. I remember seeing him at camp and thinking the same thing. And, they rewarded Chuba Hubbard with that contract, but what a find he's been. And it just really speaks, and obviously running game is the product of the full 11-man operation, and that offensive line is playing to his strengths, making some holes. And so, yeah, I think they've found an identity. And if that's running the ball and stopping the run and then allowing Bryce to do some magical plays but not needing him to make, throw the ball 40 times to do it, I think that's a pretty good place to start.
Real quick, I'm curious, how many points has Dowdle gotten you the last 2 weeks combined?
I think it's like 60 total points. I mean, we're talking about 30-point outcomes. Like, he's shifting fantasy football on its head. This guy that was on waiver wire pickup is all of a sudden, Barry Sanders.
That's quarterback. It's quarterback territory. When he's
I was expecting more. I thought you were going to say like 35, 40, like 200 yards. I'm expecting more than 30 points.
Yes,
crazy.
Especially when there's receptions involved, right? Because there's more points for a reception than there are for a carry in fantasy football, although it's not like he's caught the ball like 11 times each game. All right, here's what I think is the most impressive thing that I have seen, and I understand, by the way, why, Pat, you would say Rico Dowdle, and that has nothing to do with whether or not he's on your fantasy team, because the offense has been noticeable because we haven't seen good offense from them on any sort of consistent basis. I am more impressed, especially coming out of the Dallas game, with the defense. And I know, Vashti, you've been in that locker room a ton over the last several years. Is this the most confidence you have seen emanating from that group that we've seen over the last couple of weeks?
What's interesting about NFL players, they hardly ever lose core confidence. It might be muted. I do think it's the most I think it's one of the most mature defenses when you take out, the Shaq years. But as far as when it comes to DB, when it comes to Ashawn Robinson, when it comes to Bobby Brown, when it comes to Turk Wharton, Pat Jones, who is out for the remainder of the season. Mm-hmm. But these are guys who are into their second contract, who are kind of like peaking at the right time. And that's what I think has contributed, especially along in those trenches, to their success.
Yeah, I think the defense has just been so good. And honestly, they might not even need a good defensive effort, Pat, against the Jets.
No, to talk about, franchises that make you feel a little bit better about yourself. You got the New York Jets. They had a lot of hype going into the season, new coach, that first game, they play that great shootout with the Steelers, and it has not been good ever since. Some teams can't get out of their own way. So, yeah, I mean, I think that makes you feel better about a Carolina Panthers fan, that you're 3-3, you have a coach, you have a quarterback still. There's no changes there made. I mean, what a time to be alive.
Is it fair, Pat, that I have not changed my opinion of Dave Canales? That I would move on from him? I think he's I think maybe down the road he's a good head coach, and I guess if they stuck with him, maybe that'll happen while he's still the coach of the Panthers, but I'm not a fan.
I guess I would give him room to grow, and I think he's growing and evolving in real time. That you hired a guy who's very young with very little experience on a rapid trajectory, but he's clearly good with quarterbacks. He's clearly good at weathering the storm. I mean, what he had to deal with, like the cognitive dissonance last year of the incredibly optimistic, it's always sunshine and rainbows outlook he entered the season with to Carolina Panthers football, trying to break his soul early in the season between the injuries and Bryce Young's terrible play. So I give him credit. I mean, is he perfect? No, but I mean, at this point, you just need some stability. So, like, is he perfect? No. Is Bryce Young ever going to be a top-tier quarterback? No. But, they're getting better. We're seeing all these other retreads around the league, like, find their spark. So at this point, you kind of have to just hold serve. And I wouldn't be looking to make any major changes at the moment. Like, you are finally reaching, like, base-level NFL competency, which is a huge win for where this franchise has been at the bottoms of depth the last few years.
Vashti Hurt, let me ask you this from CarolinaBlitz.com. Who gives better press conferences, Dave Canales or Bill Belichick?
Wow. I mean, when Pat's asking the questions, I listen to these and I'm like, are we joking here? Like, who is in the room? So, Pat, shout out to you for, like, having the cojones to challenge somebody who can be quite intimidating in that press room. But I would say just because from personality alone, it's got to be Dave Canales. But, Adam, I think you're fair in still holding out on giving Canales credit. It's clear he's learning on the job. I think he was thrust into that role and he was not ready for it, and now he's figuring it out. I just don't know, and we'll see if he has the type of dominant personality to lead these men long term. So we'll see. But I think it's fair for you to say, I don't know yet. I'm not there.
I appreciate that. I'm not patronizing at all. I appreciate you saying that, Vashti. All right. I want to get to what Pat followed up with Bill on, because the funny thing is, Pat, is that, and I'm not saying Bill's right, except that we don't know that he's not. But I thought the answer showed a level of arrogance that is unbecoming coming out of a game against Clemson in which you were not competitive is not doing that phrase justice. It was like watching a high school team play against a pro team. I didn't learn a thing about Clemson in that game, and I should have learned something. They proved nothing to me about their offense against Carolina. It was disappointing. That's how overmatched I felt the Tar Heels were. So what I wanted to see Bill say was, I know we haven't shown it because score, and you came back at him with basically the score against Clemson. But we don't see practice. We don't see the individual growth. Could he have said something like that would have made anybody feel better?
I mean, the improvement that he's speaking about, like what I know has improved from talking to people, is that the players' individual strength numbers, their size, their diet, like that part of the NFL model implementation has worked, even if it hasn't netted results on the field. But yeah, like for him to respond to my rebuttal as the process is working, there's a learning curve, but the process has always worked everywhere I've ever been. Well, yeah, like you use that word arrogance. I mean, I think that's kind of the defining word of this whole thing, or hubris, where, yeah, it worked in the NFL, but this is college, and clearly there's been a disconnect on how their NFL model has been implemented, whether it's the non-travel roster not getting to dress, whether it's how they deal with career-ending injuries with just, really a real lack of human empathy. Just how they communicate with players and parents and trying to manage like this whole program and just kind of completely disregarding that what everyone has seen on the field. Like, you can't sit there and gaslight us that everything's fine. Like, take away all the sourced reports. The play on the football field has been so bad that I think he owes everyone more of an answer, more of an exclamation, more contrition. And to Mac Brown's credit, like, he would address the elephants in the room, that they weren't playing complimentary football, that they weren't tough enough, things along those lines. And Bill so far has really conceded nothing.
No, he's not, because he's treating everything like he used to treat it. When he says, everywhere I've been, well, where is everywhere he's been? It's been the Giants. It's been the Cleveland Browns as the head coach. It's been the Jets. It's been the Patriots as a head coach. All professional teams. This is not professional football. What I want to see from Bill is an admission, and let me throw this to you, Vashti, an admission that he did not understand the difference between what it was like to coach pros, people who have responsibilities to others, and college kids who are very different. Vashti, you understand as much as anybody the difference between being a college athlete and a pro athlete.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. And, I think that, and Bill came out and said, I'm going to run this like a professional program. And when he first said it gave me pause. But then I was like, oh, wow, if this works, it's really going, this guy will be genius. But it hasn't worked. And he hasn't, this is not unusual for guys to fail trying to do one or the other, thinking that the transition will be smooth. And, Bill is not the type of guy, I was about to throw some shade. Bill is not the type of guy to cower to a lot of people. And so to humble himself and say, you know what, this is on me too. I got to figure this out. Maybe I took the wrong approach. I don't think you're going to get that out of him, but I think that's what the fan base and maybe even his players need to hear.
All right, let me ask you one more thing about this, Vashti, because in my opinion, this goes way up at the university, and I don't think that's a crazy assumption. I think most people have that. Do you think that the highest up at the university, whether it's Lee Roberts or the board of trustees and the people who really had everything to do with Bill being the head coach, do you think they have the stomach to make hard decisions when it comes to this?
I think they have the stomach to do it. I just don't think that they're ready to admit that they were wrong. And eventually they're going to have to live up to it. So maybe that is not having the stomach.
Yeah.
I think people can handle – well, I think that people can handle certain things, but, I can handle, pain. But I might not be able to handle admitting to the pain. And I think that, when you get to certain levels, you don't like to show that you were wrong about something, especially so early on. And so that's what I think that they don't want to admit that they made the wrong decision. And they should have left the decision-making up to the people who are actually tasked with doing that.
Same question to you, Pat. What do you think?
I think they're waiting to see some play on the football field. As it's currently constituted, I understand the path of patience, and that's what's been told to me as far as what decision makers are doing. And I understand that in a vacuum 5 games in. But if I'm a betting man, based on what I know and what I think, I don't think this is going to get better on the field. I think it has the potential to get worse, because as we approach December and that transfer portal looming, you're going to have people, and I know it's already happening, starting to look into their futures. And the lack of team unity that's been established through the culture there, we're going to find out tonight for sure if they can rally together. But the way I understand it, it's hard for me to imagine it happening. So it might become a point where they are just going to be forced to make a decision, because the lack of momentum, so much of this Belichick hire was driving revenue, driving interest into the program, ratings. It was money driven in a lot of ways. So how are you going to have that how are we going to sell out tickets next year after this? So unless they dramatically turn it around and start landing some huge, big-time recruits, and like a safety from flipping from Miami is great, but I mean that's not moving the needle. So they're going to, for this to turn around, there needs to be a massive momentum shift, because it's just hard for me to see this going into next year and trying to sell that to fans unless we see a dramatic improvement on the field.
Or they can just get a $2 billion investment from Saudi Arabia.
Or that.
Right?
Or that. That's college football today, where a story like that isn't even like a violation. It's just what's being done. UNC confirmed it to my colleague Brian Murphy, like immediately.
I mean, Mike Lombardi's taking a fundraising junket to Saudi Arabia. Like, what are we doing here? Are we selling arms? What are we? This is nuts. All of it's crazy. Vashti Hurt. CarolinaBlitz.com, keep blitzing on Twitter. You're the best, Vashti. I don't know how you do everything you do. You're amazing. And Pat Welter, you are also a gentleman and a scholar and a hard-hitting reporter.
Happy to be here. Great to be on with Vashti. And, we got a late one. Old school Pac-12 ACC after the dark, 10:30.
Isn't it stupid?
For UNC Cal.
Isn't it stupid right? Carolina's playing. It's a conference game, and Oregon and Rutgers are playing a conference game. What world do we live in? Oh, man. Thank you very much, both of you. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Tripp Tracy will join us. We'll talk about the Canes 4-0 and what we like. Next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and we are all about the Sunday slate of NFL games, and FanDuel is bringing the heat with something a little bit extra. Here's what it is. This isn't just another NFL Sunday. It's your chance to make that perfect parlay or your go-to player prop, making it even better with a FanDuel 50% profit boost on any NFL bet. All customers can take advantage of this, not just new customers. We love all customers. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Download the app today. Get your 50% profit boost with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
There's no time like fair time, y'all. The 2025 NC State Fair runs October 16th to 26th in Raleigh and is jam-packed with fun for the whole family. Come enjoy tasty eats, free entertainment, livestock competitions, giant pumpkins, nightly fireworks, and so much more. This year's NC State Fair is the event you can't miss. Bring your friends, bring your family, and make memories that you'll be talking about till next year. Get your tickets today at ncstatefair.org.
Whether it's helping you work, save, or steer clear from fraud, AARP North Carolina is making sure your money, health, and happiness live as long as you do. Each week, AARP Without Limits meets people and explores topics to help improve how we live and age in North Carolina. You can also learn more about getting the most out of life by listening to AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements. and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
This is Adam Gold.
So Mike Vrabel, the coach of the New England Patriots, they asked him about birthday cake, and he said there was only one cake qualified for his birthday cake.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what that is?
Is it vanilla?
No.
Oh.
Carrot.
I love him even more.
The Adam Gold Show.
All right. Last night in Anaheim, the Hurricanes ran their record to 4-0 on the season. I like to say you can't go 82-0 without going 4-0. Tripp Tracy, Hurricanes game analyst, my friend. How good will they be when the top line starts playing well?
I mean, they will certainly find yet another level. But, there's been an adjustment for Ehlers, but there's no doubt that last night was Jarvis's best game of the young season. And not just, he was so candid in the first 2 games when he scored, AG, that there were holes in his game that we've come to rely upon. And I thought it was pretty darn complete last night. And other than the face-off circle where Aho struggled last night, he had a nice complete game too. So I feel like they're building, and the Hurricanes are being carried by some other really positive individual and dimensional stories.
Tripp Tracy is joining us here. So let's go to the blue line, which to me has driven everything, because I can't find anybody on the back end who is not playing well. And they've gone the last 2 without Jacob Slavin, and I would argue they've played 4 games without the real Jacob Slavin. He was clearly bothered by something during training camp, which is why he was in and out of practice, why he didn't play a preseason game. And I had said for all I remember, it might have been you, but I had said even as he was playing well in the first period of the game against the Devils, I thought he looked like he had a hard time changing direction skating. So something was bothering him, and then he played just 16 and a half minutes in the game against Philadelphia, left that game, did not come back. He hadn't played these on the road trip, and he won't. But when you've got Shane Gostisbehere playing the way he's playing, Sean Walker, Keandre Miller, Mike Riley steps in the lineup. I mean, this is a complete – the blue line has been incredible.
We obviously know that you cannot replace Jacob Slavin when he's Jacob Slavin individually, and it's got to be collectively. And you just hit on the collective effort. I mean, Walker's been terrific. Keandre Miller has had, for the most part, a seamless adjustment. By the way, a quick mention on Miller last night, and Nikishin, the man of the hour right now. The Hurricanes are like a pack of wolves right now, that they're standing up for each other. And that's a positive development from years past and all the other positive things going on. Gostisbehere is as good of a story as they've got, plain and simple, at both ends of the ring.
Yeah.
See, +9. He's got 7 points, and it's the best defensive hockey.
Yeah.
And then to see his I mean, he makes a brilliant play on Jarvis's 100th goal as a Hurricane to surprise the Anaheim player. He was the central part of that goal. But then to see the leader that he is for young Alexander Nikishin, his joy, the whole celebration was fantastic, but Gostis Bear in particular. I mean, he's been as good of a story as they've gotten. In the 2 games that Mike Riley has played, he's looked every bit like the veteran that you knew you were getting.
I talked to Shane before the Philadelphia game because it's hard to talk to Alexander Nikishin, although I loved the interview that Hannah Yates did with him yesterday. By the way, wish her happy birthday.
She's standing right next to me.
Wish her happy
Adam
birthday.
Loves your interview, and he wishes you happy birthday.
So the one answer he gave in English, I'm going to make that my ringtone. Right? It was so good. Like, thank you, blocked shot, work hard, forecheck, shoots on goal. Perfect. We don't.
He says he's making his first answer his ringtone. Yeah,
it's just the greatest thing.
The same.
But I talked to Shane before the Philly game, and here's a veteran who has been given a responsibility to get this guy, up to speed and in many ways protect him. Look out, not physically, of course, because he does not need that kind of protection, but just to kind of make his transition to the NHL as easy as possible. But Shane's got all these other things going on, and he's playing his offside, but he could not have been more interested to talk about Nikishin. Like, I almost felt bad not asking him about his own game, but he was all right just talking about Alexander. And, like, the veteran leadership that he is showing, like, that's captain stuff.
You bet it is. And, I think it was after the win over his first NHL team, Philadelphia, last Saturday. On the off day, I reached out to Shane, and I said, he won a national championship at Union. I said, did you wear a letter, Shane? And he did. So you have guys that are ready to be leaders in the NHL, relish being leaders in the NHL. Shane Gostisbehere is a perfect example that he knows his game's in order, but he can also simultaneously help this young kid and with tremendous enthusiasm and care. Jalen Chatfield, is a guy that was the captain of Windsor when they won the Memorial Cup. So, you're getting tremendous leadership. But Gostisbehere, I remember watching that Union team win a national championship. We were actually in Philadelphia at the time, and he was a captain on that team. And he's looking every bit like a leader so far this year.
Yeah, it's one of the things that jumped out to me, and I'm not trying to compare this team to 2006, was how many players in that locker room could have worn not just the C. There's only one guy that was going to wear the C on that team, but how many guys could have worn A's in that locker room back in 2006? And there's a lot of that, I think, with this group. Jarvis plays that way. We all know that. The Stahl line all plays that way. That line, to me, they set the tone for the game with that very first shift, which is probably longer than Rod Brindamore would have wanted Stahl's line to be on the ice for that shift, but they owned the puck in the offensive zone. There was no reason to leave. It ended up drawing a penalty. Let me ask you about the power play. Jackson Blake, Tripp Tracy, is joining us. Jackson Blake goes on to the first unit. Andrei Svechnikov flips to the second unit, which had been the better unit through 3 games. It didn't get off to a good start, but I thought that Blake's vision created the power play goal.
Okay, totally agree with you. And it was the focus of the second intermission for me was that vision that he brings. On that Jarvis one-timer, I love how Jarvis drifted wide because it makes it a further distance to travel for Dostal, the Anaheim goaltender. I mean, it's a perfect shot. But I loved how that one-timer, he drifted outside the dots at the last second. But when I looked at the clip, actually when Hannah was interviewing Jackson, I could see that with that vision, he took a peek, 2 or 3 seconds before he was available for receiving the pass, and he knew Jarvis was there. That's the type of vision that he's got. And you also mentioned the Stahl line, AG. I thought that they had a really important shift after those 2 junk power plays in the first period, too, because the game could have gone south in a hurry. And, they didn't allow it to deflate those 2 junk power plays. And you fast forward, the game-winning goals on the power play with that tweak of putting Jackson there. I know you've had that thought in your head for a while now, so you look pretty darn good on that one. And then your penalty kill was stellar. So you won the special teams department. And I give that Stahl crew just a lot of credit, because after those 2 power plays in the first period that were no good, and you oftentimes see your team fall off, that's aside from the shift that opened the game, they had a couple quality ones there to not allow it to affect what they were doing.
Yeah, it took me back to the game against the Devils, where I thought Carolina was really good in the first period, except for the power plays. I think they had 3 of them against the Devils, didn't do anything with them. And it kind of soured the entire first period. So it certainly can go the other way. It's good that they got a power play goal, and the penalty kill continues to be great. Freddie Anderson, I know Rod said after the game last night he thought it might have been Anderson's best game as a Hurricane. I don't know. There's a lot of games to choose from. But Freddie, really saved them. Cutter Gauthier could have had 4 goals last night. And then the save he makes on Kreider in the third period, really from his stomach, was just tremendous. I loved Freddie last night.
Yeah, just to quickly on that Kreider save in the third period, the fact that he, for such a big guy, he got low when the puck was in the slot to try to locate where the puck was at. He was determined through traffic. That's usually a barometer for me to see if a goalie is truly dialed in, is how determined is he to locate pucks through traffic. But it ended up being a huge benefit because he was so low. He's already in a position to have explosive movement from his left to his right to make that save. And the save, I thought the biggest save of the game, that was the most stylish save. The biggest save of the game was the save he made right after Carlson made it 2-1.
On Vetrano.
2-2 in a blink. That is massive. That, the building would have gotten going. That save changed the course of the hockey game for me. And I'd be remiss, partner, if I didn't, mention, Rod makes the ultimate decision, but Paul Schoenfelder, the trust to go with Bussy in San Jose, I strongly believe a lot of teams would not have done that. And built within that, aside from Brandon delivering against the Sharks, is it gave Freddie Anderson a pocket of rest in the event you have to roll him. Here is the gauntlet of the trip truly begins tomorrow in LA.
Yeah, no doubt. It's almost like progressive with Stanley Cup contenders, although Vegas, Colorado, and Dallas are pretty close when it comes to best in the West. But I don't know how you feel about Anaheim. I think they're a playoff team, and I think they will be in the play. They're too good, and the veterans that they've got, I think, will play well. And I love Dostal in net. I think he's a tremendous goalie. All right, final thing for you, Tripp Tracy, and then we'll go. We'll let you help celebrate Hannah Yates' birthday with a hike. Do you have any level of concern that we are 4 games in, and Andrei Svechnikov and Nick Ehlers have 1 fewer point than Will Carrier?
I don't have a concern with Ehlers because I think that he's looked better and better, as the 4 games have progressed. I see situations with his playmaking ability in particular that guys are not prepared for the puck to come their way.
Right.
There was one partial change in the second period where Jackson Blake, other than, on the power play doesn't play with him, but he was, not prepared for a cross-ice pass. So I don't have a concern with regards to Ehlers. I'd love to see him get on the board because, that's the expediting factor for any player with a new team. Svechnikov, I thought he took steps after that reassignment in San Jose. He had moments, positive and negative last night, but what I like the most, AG, it's a small thing, but he's not on the board yet, and he still goes out with Hannah's post-game interview and serves as a translator. I think that's a really positive sign because that's a team-first mindset. I think he's taken some subtle steps here in the last couple of games, but, he's going to have to shoot more pucks, hold on to more pucks, and he's going to have to be a physical presence and learn the physicality medium that he needs to achieve in the regular season.
Tripp Tracy, Hurricanes game analyst, my friend. I will talk with you tomorrow before we get to the Canes and the Kings' third trip third installment of this 6-game deep fried road trip. I appreciate your time, sir.
Adam, thank you. And Hannah, do you want to just give a shout out to the Radio Nation?
Shout out to the Radio Nation.
Don't hurt Tripp today.
She's battling my slowing metabolism. I usually just stay in the hotel. It's her birthday, so I got no excuses to go out and get a 6-mile hike to the Hollywood side.
Hydrate, Tripp. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
They're going to the Hollywood sign. I want photos.
Yeah.
I hope that somebody is out there chronicling all of it.
I would love to do that.
All of that. I mentioned something before we get out of here. I mentioned something in the roundtable that I just wanted to, there are people who might not know this. Apparently in August, so this was a couple of months ago, prior to the season, Michael Lombardi took a potential fundraising trip to Saudi Arabia, apparently on the dime of the Crown Prince. That's interesting. I don't know that it's good, but it is interesting. It does speak to the fact that everybody is looking for revenue in college sports. It's expensive to run college athletic departments. And it's expensive to compete across the board. There are schools that do not compete financially, and invariably, the way it works now, you will fall behind if you are not competing. The Big Ten, so this is little about UNC because ultimately they did nothing. But they did explore private equity a couple of years ago. We know this for a fact. The Big Ten is considering, and I mentioned this before, the Big Ten is considering a private equity infusion of cash to the tune of $2 billion into the league. But here's the problem. I have two problems. One, it's a one-time infusion of cash. So it doesn't happen every year. I mean, you can still get your cash every year from a media deal. So there's that. And here's the other part. If you do this, if you enter into a deal like this, don't you jeopardize your tax-exempt status? Because I think you do. At some point, we have to these have to be run like they're supposed to be run and not like strict businesses. Because if you run them like a business, you should pay taxes. And I don't believe the universities want to do that. Just something to think about. All right, we got to get out of here.
Happy Friday!
It is. It took this long?
I know.
No, I mean, honestly, I could have been asleep when you said it earlier, so I don't know.
I couldn't remember. Happy Friday. Let's go Dodgers.
I think it... Get rid of the Brewers. That's all you really care about, getting rid of the Brewers.
Yes.
Good luck to the Panthers. Good luck to the Tar Heels tonight and the Blue Devils on the weekend. Victoria, thank you. We'll see everybody Monday.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And you know what day it is. That's right. It is Friday. That means a weekend of college football is upon us. And that means we's bussin' with the boys. Here's what we're going to do. FanDuel's going to give you a 30% profit boost on any college football wager you want this week.